Here in Western New York, the latest installment of MACtion. How about two of the highest powered offenses in the land? College football presented by Geico as we come here to Buffalo, New York. The Bulls undefeated against unbeaten Kent State here on CBS Sports Network. Well, the stakes huge for the winner of this game here today because whoever takes this contest will be in first place in the MAC East in the driver's seat for a spot in Detroit in a couple of weeks. And welcome to what could be the game of the year in the MAC. I'm Ed Cohen with the 7-year NFL veteran Ross Tucker. Not just perfect records, but Ross, these teams put a lot of points up on the board.
Yeah, I'm not saying could be. This is the game of the year in the MAC. These teams average a combined 97 points per game. Neither one of them has lost in over a year.
Well, up until last week, no one in the country had rushed for 300 yards in a game, but Jaret Patterson of Buffalo changed that at Bowling Green.
He has been so fun to watch for 3 years now. He runs that stretch play that UB likes to run so well, but what really makes him special is right here. His ability to make defenders miss in the hole. They almost never get a clean shot on him.
Kent State scoring the most points in college football. Dustin Crum, the biggest reason why.
So this week, getting ready for the game, I had to check his stats 2 or 3 times. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous how efficiently Dustin Crum has run this RPO offense for Kent State. He even makes the right reads when he runs. He doesn't look fast, but he's got a lot of yards on the ground as well. Kent State is a machine.
Well, last year, both these teams won their first ever bowl games in program history. Sean Lewis leads Kent State into this one. Lance Leipold in his 6th year leading the Buffalo Bulls. And ready to go here in Western New York. Matthew Trickett will kick it away for Kent State. Had the game-winning field goal in last year's comeback victory for Kent State, and not the start he wanted. Nonetheless, Buffalo will begin with the football in this one.
35-yard line. First down.
Referee Jeremy Valentine. Well, Ross, the Bulls have scored at least 40 points in every game so far this season, and Kyle Van Treese won the quarterback competition coming into camp this year, will lead the Bulls into this one once again.
Right, and they are a run-based team, but Van Treese has shown he can get it done when he has to. 353 yards, 4 touchdowns against Miami, including a really big second half.
Now Van Treese, he's from Ohio, actually went to high school about 5 miles from Kent State. And the two-pronged rushing attack, Jaret Patterson, who's wearing 41 here today, along with number 5, Kevin Marks for Buffalo. And this is Patterson trying to turn the corner. He does across midfield. Patterson still going down the sideline. Patterson still on his feet, trying to get free and brought down inside the 5-yard line. What a start on the ground for the Bulls.
I told you, Ed, I told you, this is what UB does. They run the ball as well as anybody in the country. And it's explosive big plays. Awesome lead block by the other tailback, Kevin Marks. He gets a nice block downfield by number 9, Dominic Johnson, the former basketball player. And Patterson almost took the first carry of the game to the house.
Ended last week's game on a 57-yard touchdown run. And now 1st and goal from the 3. Tight end in motion. Patterson up the gut, and he is in. Touchdown Bulls on their 2nd play from scrimmage. Well, you can't ask for a better start here in Buffalo.
Pretty much exactly what not only we knew Buffalo was going to do, but what Kent State knew Buffalo was going to do, and they still weren't able to stop it. Back-to-back plays. Patterson and this Buffalo running attack right now is absolutely on fire. What a start for the Bulls.
Alex McNulty is on for the extra point. He's 13 of 13 on point after tries here this season. Has not attempted a field goal. And this one is good. 2 plays in, 7-0 Buffalo.
Well, it started, Ed, with the stretch zone and Patterson getting great blocks downfield to get all the way down near the goal line. And then how about just a little inside power? Number 41 knows how to hit pay dirt.
Now, last year, It was November 14th. Kent State was down 27-6 early in the fourth quarter. Xavier Williams got them back in it, and then the onside kick recovered by Kent State, and that opened the floodgates. Williams went for another score, 41 yards. They blocked a punt, got a big stop on third down near midfield, and then another touchdown to tie it, followed by Trickett from 44 yards out. Ross Tucker, a program-changing comeback win for Kent State. And this is what they wrote on the whiteboard at halftime when they got back to the locker room. Believe was still scribbled in Sharpie.
Yeah, well, it's a permanent marker. Sean Lewis used permanent marker there, so they can't get it off. So that believe is just staying up there.
Kent State awaiting the kickoff. Last week, 750 total yards for the Golden Flashes, tied a program record in the rout of Akron. But it's Buffalo with the early salvo. Patterson's 3-yard touchdown. This is taken for a touchback by Jay-Sean Polk. Let's go back to the scoring drive for the Bulls.
Yeah, so I love my offensive lineman, Ed, but take a look at the blocks here by LaFave, the tight end, and Marks, the other running back. This is the key. They're running outside, and watch what a job that they do. LaFave up on the linebacker, Marks on the linebacker, and boom, Patterson is gone. You know, the way you get big runs, especially when you're running outside, is when your receivers, tight ends, and running backs are willing to block for you, and UP does that extremely well, and their first play of the game was evidence of that.
Now catch your breath. One of the fastest moving offenses in the country getting to work as Dustin Crum gives up the gut to Marquez Cooper. Had a big game last week against Akron, and Cooper picking up a couple of yards for the Golden Flashes.
I think my favorite Crum stat from last game was he was 17 for 17 for 300 yards to start the game.
Slings it out this time, and the Bulls up to the task, led by Isaiah King, number 4 in blue. Now Crum, third most efficient quarterback in the country, Ross, as we look at the Golden Flashes up front.
Marquez Cooper, he's already gotten the ball once. Only a true freshman running back, but a good start by UP here defensively to get them in third and long.
Crum with time, not anymore, as he's dropped by Malcolm Kuntz, who was invited to the Senior Bowl this week.
Well, Malcolm Kuntz is arguably the best pro prospect. He's coming off the edge, bottom of your screen, working against the Andrew Johnson. It's a right-hand stab, and then he pulls it away. He has got some advanced moves. Stabs him with the one arm, pull it away, lights out. That's why he's going to the Senior Bowl. That's why he's going to get drafted. What a start for UP on both sides of the ball now.
Now, just think, a week ago against Akron, Kent State was 11 of 11 on third down, and their first drive is a 3-and-out. A little Kent State bounce here off the punt from Ian Hensey, and the Bulls will have very good field position past the 40-yard line. A good start for Buffalo, 7-0 here in what could be the best game of the year coming in the MAC.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Ram, built to serve. And by Rogue, don't weaken.
Another great photos of the 1958 Kent State team, last team in school history to begin 3-0. And Sean Lewis has the Golden Flashes in a spot they haven't been in a long, long time. Perfect, Ross, after 3 weeks.
Yeah, not just that. I mean, they've won 7 games in a row. They won the Frisco Bowl last year. He has done an unbelievable job with this program when you think about their history, which is really poor. I mean, they only have one MAC Conference Championship game appearance back in 2012. They got a shot, but they're going to have to pick it up on both sides of the ball because they got off to a really poor start.
Bulls take over after a 2-play 65-yard drive to start the game. And this out to Dominic Johnson as the edge, and he's across midfield. First down pickup for the Bulls. Let's take a look at the Buffalo offense here in this 4th game of the season.
Well, we talked a lot about how they like to run the football. They've got an excellent offensive line, but the other receiver opposite Johnson, Antonio Nunn has been lights out this year. One of 3 MAC wide receivers averaging over 100 yards per game. He is their big play threat.
Now, they completed 7 passes last week against Bowling Green. 6 went to Nunn, and this is complete to Giovanni Ruiz as he's brought down after a couple of yard pickup. Let's take a look at the Kent State defense, including the last tackle made by Jeremiah Salam.
They're going to need this defensive line to play extremely well. Number 0, Zayn West. He is a force against both the run and the pass. They treat those single-digit numbers very, very carefully at Kent State. They don't give them out to everybody. Only 3 or 4 guys on the team even have one. West has earned one.
This is 2nd and 2. And give to Patterson. He's got the first down yardage near the 30-yard line. Now, Patterson wearing number 41. He's normally 26, but Ross, a player for Buffalo, wears number 41 every week in honor of Solomon Jackson, former Bull, passed away in 2016.
What an awesome way to preserve Solomon's memory, and it's a real honor for whoever gets to wear it, and Patterson has certainly earned that distinction.
1st and 10, they were 3 wide. Patterson breaks free, and he's off. Touchdown, Jarrett Patterson. He's got 2 in the first 4 minutes of the game. A 31-yard strike, and Buffalo in the driver's seat, 13-0.
Well, Kent State's got some problems, Ed. I'm going to tell you right now, that's just zone to the right. And watch, everybody's zone stepping to the right. That's a huge hole right there. Nobody at the second level there, and that's one of Patterson's easiest touchdowns this season. Kent State likes to move a lot, angle and slant up front to try to get penetration, but sometimes you can angle and slant your way right out of the play.
Now McNulty on for another extra point. Not even 4 minutes gone by, and the Buffalo Bulls have a 14-0 lead. Patterson has rushed 4 times, 101 yards, and his 2nd touchdown already. What a start for Buffalo here on CBS Sports Network. Now, Jarrett Patterson, after gaining 301 yards on the ground last week. Ross, so far so good.
Yeah, take a look at the center Nowitzki and the left guard Gall. They're both going to get their blocks at the second level. You need interior offensive linemen who are athletes. Watch Nowitzki get up there. Gall seals the backside, and that is a gigantic hole. You know, you can't have both defensive tackles in the B gap between the guard and the tackle on both sides and expect your linebackers to be able to make that play right there. That is a poor scheme, or someone was misaligned for Kent State.
We haven't even seen Kevin Marks, the Bulls' other star running back. Patterson getting it done on his own, and Kent State has work to do as they await the kickoff here from McNulty. This is Polk. Bobbles, takes it from the 4. Sean Polk to the 30. Still going. Wrestled down near the side by Isaiah King. So if you're Kent State, offense 3 and out against the Bulls. Great front. Ross, how do you get back into this game?
Well, listen, they average 53 points a game. Okay, so there's no reason to panic, but they need to get moving now because it doesn't look like their defense is going to be able to get a stop. Maybe not the whole game. I'm not trying to exaggerate here, but based on what I've seen in the run game so far, I'm not sure Kent State's going to be able to get a stop. So offensively, they're going to have to match them every single time they get the ball.
Dustin Crum, in his senior season, does have the option of coming back for another. Take the give, twice, look over the middle, bobbled, still loose. Was it picked off? No, incomplete. Almost picked off by Buffalo's Tyrone Hill. Nonetheless, second down coming up for Kent State.
It was also almost caught by an offensive lineman. Watch this, bobble. Ooh, 75. 2 offensive linemen, or no, 11's a tight end, but they almost had a chance to catch it off of the ricochet. Wow, missed opportunity for UB.
Chris Leach of Kent State playing some good defense to knock it loose. Slant over the middle here for Kent State. Still short of the first down as we look at the Buffalo defense.
Well, he's already introduced himself to America, and that's Malcolm Kuntz, number 50. These are the downs he has to show up. Obvious passing downs, 3rd and 5 or more.
Fake the give, look over the middle, complete. And to the 35-yard line, first down yardage here for Kent State as Crum with the completion over the middle.
This is when they really get you on their heels because they run plays so fast, the D-line starts to get gas and they get no pass rush. Look, they're not even lined up right.
To his top receiver the last time, Isaiah McCoy, and this time goes short to Brian Bradford.
Watch how often, look, they're standing around, they're not even lined up in the ball snap, they're pushing each other. That's exactly one of the reasons why Kent State runs this high-tempo offense.
Crum up the gut, Crum still going, escapes one tackle, and finally wrestled down inside the 20-yard line by Buffalo's Corey Gross.
And he can do that. This is a designed quarterback draw. Fake the step, go, nice double team on the nose tackle, Eddie Wilson. And Crum doesn't look like much when he runs, but he always gets yards. Look, I mean, that's another example right there. He doesn't look like a great athlete. I bet you he went to those 7-on-7 or summer camps and didn't really run a great 40 time, but he figures out a way to get the ball down the field and get yards for his team.
I picked up 2 on the ground last week against Akron. This time goes to Cooper, and Cooper just shy of the 10-yard line. Kuntz and Thompson are there for the Bulls. If you blink, you might miss something for a team that averages 84 plays per game. That is 4th in FBS.
Sean Lewis, their head coach, said, we get off more snaps in practice than any team in the country.
Crum met at the 10, taken down. Guy you mentioned earlier, George Wallow, the true freshman from Columbia, Maryland.
Well, he's only a true freshman, and the coaches told us he's going to be a really good player, but they need him to be a really good player now. What a job, a pull and swim against Adam Gregory right there by Wallow. And it looks like Kent State's going to kick a field goal. I understand getting points on the board, but with the way their defense looks, I think I would go for it here. 4th and 2.
Well, trick it, take it. Spot down from Crum. Trickett's field goal is good. Now 3 of 4 on the season. And Kent State with points, but Buffalo a 14-3 advantage here on CBS Sports Network.
Our welcome back here to UB Stadium, 14-3. UB, huge missed opportunity for Kent State here. This is the last field goal attempt, and you'll see Malcolm Kuntz, he jumps. If Kent State snaps the ball, or anybody on the right side of the line moves, that would have been a free first down, 1st and goal for the Golden Flashes.
A break for Buffalo. Ron Cook takes it near the goal line. Cook is dropped just shy of the 25 for the Bulls. Time now for some fast facts brought to you by Advil and Ross. The new Diggs state-of-the-art football locker room. Construction began in 2019, opened in September. More space, beautiful stainless steel lockers, new ventilation, and when your player gets your new home, it is really exciting.
So, okay, I played for 5 NFL teams. That's way better than any NFL team I ever played for. I mean, we're to the point now where MAC schools have better locker rooms than they have in the NFL. I mean, look at these guys.
Christmas coming a little early here for the Buffalo program. I mentioned Kevin Marks in a running back now. And takes it to the 30-yard line. A different running style, no question, from Patterson. So hard to tackle. Marks will come right through you.
Yeah, Marks is a little more linear. He gets a little more vertical. Patterson is more stop-start. He's got those big quads. He'll make you miss. Jump stops. That's not really Marks' game. He's more of a slashing runner.
7-yard pickup on first down. This is Marks once again trying to bounce it to the outside. And just shy of the 35-yard line. I think he was a yard short of the first down. Oli Okambi was in on the tackle for Kent State.
Yeah, that's a big play by Okambi right there. One of the guys that plays nose tackle for him, the sophomore, 6'1", 256, just staying in his gap, working down the line, gives him a chance to maybe get off the field here. 3rd and 1, I think everybody in the stadium knows what's coming. We'll see whether or not Kent State has some type of run blitz to try to stop him.
High snap. It is Marks. It is good enough for a first down. Go back to last week against Akron. Van Treese attempted 12 passes. They ran it 48 times with their two-pronged attack.
Yeah, so Kent State needs to do something up front to try to angle and get upfield penetration in a situation like that. They run a 3-3-5 stack, so they really only have 2 true linebackers, 3 D linemen. They're going to get pushed back if they're not getting penetration. Van Treese sees a blitz off the top. It looks like the safety, Dean Clark's coming. We'll see if Kent State adjusts as well. Looks like they are.
Number 39, Van Treese looking over the top. Nunn in stride, has to come back and couldn't pull it in. Pass a bit behind him. That brings up second down here for the Bulls.
Yeah, nice coverage. Good job by Kent State. They know that they like to take shots. Take a look at it. It looked like a catchable ball to Van Treese.
And Jeremiah Salam was there, the junior from the state of Florida. There's Salam, who had the key block punt last year's comeback win over Buffalo for Kent State. Martin still the running back. Takes it here on second down and picks up a couple past the 40. And the guy I talked about, Ross, Zane West with the tackle.
Boy, good signs here for Kent State on this drive that they got some defensive linemen that are making plays down the line to put Buffalo in a 3rd and long. You know, when Buffalo throws it like that on first down, that's a calculated risk to take that shot. It puts them in 3rd and 8. They do very little straight drop back pass. This is not where they're comfortable or they want to live. This is a great opportunity for Kent State to get off the field.
3rd and 8. Van Treese with some time, slings it out high and overcooked atop the head of Giovanni Ruiz. And the stop for Kent State. Buffalo will punt it away.
Man, missed opportunity there for Van Treese because Ruiz is wide open. If he puts it on him, it's an easy first down there. And you almost feel like in this game, every time you don't score, you're not holding serve. You're not holding up your end of the bargain. That's a big stop for Kent State. I wasn't sure how many stops they'd get today, period, after those first couple drives.
Evan Finnegan on the punt for Buffalo. And back to receive for Kent State is Raymond James. Took the play clock all the way down. Running start for Finnegan. James will let it bounce into the end zone for a touchback. Well, start your Sundays with that other pregame show as CBS Sports Network and the crew break down all the recent news and get you ready for every game on the NFL calendar. It's tomorrow morning at 8 Eastern on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Adam Schein and the gang will have it for you as Sean Lewis's team. Offense back on the field, Ross Tucker. Buffalo with the early 14-3 advantage and getting it done with Patterson. 2 touchdowns already on the ground.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident we'll see Patterson back in the game next series after they just gave one to Marks.
Xavier Williams, running back, breaks through the line. Has finally taken down shy of the 35-yard line. Xavier Williams had those 2 big touchdowns last year against the Bulls in the comeback win.
Yeah, they really like him, especially on outside runs, but this is just a version of inside power with the fullback flipping around.
Crum back to throw, going deep, has a man, caught and dragged out of bounds. His top receiver, Isaiah McCoy. He's a big play threat as Kent State dials it up, but hold on, there's a flag in the backfield. 46-yard reception.
Foul, chop block. Offense number 18 and number 73. Penalized 15 yards from the previous spot. Remains first down.
And coming back.
Wow, that is a devastating penalty on a shot play. That's Xavier Williams working with Zach Whaley, who's in at right tackle. We'll take a look and see. Whaley's in the game right now for Daniel Johnson, who got beat early by Kuntz. Yeah, Xavier Williams goes low, and Whaley's hands were up top. If you're a running back, you really can't go low in that situation. The offensive lineman doesn't know you're going to do that.
Crum escapes one tackle, got by Wright. Now on the edge, turns the corner on James Patterson, and Crum out past the 35-yard line. So he picks up the 15 yards on the penalty, and it brings up 2nd down and 10.
And look how well trained he is, and they all are. He runs right back with the football, hands it to the umpire because they want to snap this next ball as soon as possible.
Crum fakes the give with time, looking over the top again to Polk. Brings it in. Beautiful catch by Jay-Sean Polk. One-on-one downfield against Tyrone Hill for Kent State.
I love when guys do the shoulder shrug like that. Crum is in a rhythm now. I mean, that time he's faking the ball to nobody, but watch him drop it right in the bucket to Polk, the former Georgia State track champ.
And when Kent State has the ball, feels like a track meet. Give up the middle, Brian Bradford. And Bradford, the big short yardage guy, gets a couple up the middle. Inside of 4 minutes, opening quarter. Buffalo with the 14-3
Yeah, look
lead.
at the fullback right there, Elijah Ratliff. He's actually the backup center. They've had so many injuries at tight end that they gave big boy Elijah Ratliff jersey number 49. I just like watching him.
Crum keeps it looking for McCoy, and pass interference as the flag comes in. He was blanketed by Roy Baker, the senior safety.
Pass interference. Defense number 18. Penalized 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
Not so sure about that one. You know, Baker never got his head turned around. I guess their right hand, Baker's right hand was holding McCoy's left hand. I'll say this, I've seen more than that not called.
Opens the door for the Golden Flashes. Man in motion, jet sweep, and the give on the sideline, reaching almost. Dante Cephas, a redshirt freshman from Pittsburgh, and knocked out at the 3-yard line.
Cephas a little banged up, went to Penn Hills High School. Had a chance to call his state championship game a couple years ago when his school took home the 5A crown in the state of Pennsylvania.
They were 16-0 in that senior season. Crum fakes the shovel, look over the middle, touchdown for Kent State. And they're finally into the end zone. It's Chris Leach, the junior tight end for the Golden Flashes.
Just awesome play design right there. I mean, really, really good play design. And there could be some talk whether or not they go for 2. Watch, everything's going one way. Leach comes underneath the formation, behind the offensive lineman, and got lost behind him.
Trickett on for the point after try, and it is good. So Crum, after the penalty, guides the Golden Flashes into the end zone. Chris Leach into the end zone, 3-yard touchdown strike from Dustin Crum.
Yeah, watch him right here. You're going to see everything go that way, and he comes underneath the formation. He just gets lost. You know, you don't expect the guy you're covering to go behind the offensive lineman like that.
You mentioned the injury issues for Kent State at tight end, but Leach finds the end zone. Kent State, he came in averaging almost 53 points per game. Finally into the end zone, a 6-play, 80-yard drive, and look at the time, just 2 minutes and 16 seconds for the Golden Flashes.
That's Kent State football right there. That's how they roll. They don't have a lot of time of possession. They don't have a lot of long drives. They are a quick strike offense.
This is Cook for the Bulls inside the 10, and bring out the kickoff. Gets past the 40-yard line. Good field position once again here for the Bulls with under 3 to play in the opening quarter.
Yeah, I'd be surprised, Ed, if you don't see Patterson back in the game and you don't see UB pound the football. You know, last drive, Marks was in the game, and on 1st down, they tried to take a shot, would put them in a situation after they didn't have a big run on 2nd down for 3rd and long, where they don't want to be. I'd be surprised if this isn't the run. I think UB gets right back to doing what got him to this point in the first place, which is giving the ball to Jared Patterson.
Marks, Patterson, both in there. So Patterson's done already today, 100 plus in the first 2 drives of the game for the Bulls. There it is now, Patterson. Now past the 40-yard line. And again, he's wearing number 41. Normally, he's number 26, but he's the Bull wearing 41 this week in honor of the late Solomon Jackson.
Yeah, and Zayn West was able to make the play from the backside again. But really, even though he's the one making the tackle, the reason that happens is everybody on the front side is staying in their gap. They're stretching everything out. There's nowhere to go for Patterson. He has to wait, cut back, and by the time he does, West able to make the tackle.
Patterson, the lone back, 3 wide for Buffalo.
It's a light box, only 6 guys. Sorry, I think they're gonna run it. Well, I'm surprised here.
Treese with time over the middle, complete. Big hands from Dominic Johnson near midfield and very close to the first down marker. They will move the sticks.
Yeah, there was only 6 guys in the box. I thought Van Treese was calling a run because they had the tight end in there. So they had 6 for 6 if they gave it to Patterson, but he actually checked to a pass, and it looks like it's bringing up 3rd and short. They're not going to give him the first down.
Just inside the 50-yard line with under 2 to go here in the first quarter. It's Patterson. He's got the first down and into Kent State territory. You know, he is a junior, and he says he's looked up to guys like Barry Sanders, who retired from the NFL in 1999. I guess you hear enough people say, hey, you're tough to tackle. You have similar characteristics. You start to pull up the film.
Yeah, he watches Barry Sanders, Maurice Jones-Drew. It's the point now where I almost feel like that's the prototype body type for a running back. 5'9", 200 pounds, great stop-start.
Treese, quick look to the outside and mixed up there with Nunn, who is darting downfield. Luckily for Buffalo, no interception as Elvis Hines was there for Kent State.
Yeah, that could have easily been a pick 6 the other way. Elvis Hines is a senior from Camden, New Jersey. And I enjoyed talking with Elvis the other day. He's a business management major. Said he wants to start a business with his brother when he's done playing football. His brother's a computer guy. He said, me? I'm the people person.
They've got both things locked down. Patterson right up the gut here for Buffalo. You know, Patterson, he's from Prince George's County in Maryland. Grew up about 15 minutes away from FedEx Field, watching the Washington football team. And Ross, we talked to him. His mom is a principal in the Baltimore area, and you said on the phone, that's a long commute.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that's ever lived in the DMV or Baltimore, D.C. area, you know, if you live near FedEx Field and you're commuting to inner city Baltimore every day, that is a rough commute. But she's doing an outstanding job for those young people in Baltimore.
Right, and Zach Lefebvre shifts over. Patterson to the left side through the hole, and he's off. Patterson going for his 3rd touchdown today, all in the first quarter. And Buffalo continues its ground attack. But hold on, there's a flag on the play. Let's see if this is coming back. After a 58-yard scamper.
Offside. Defense number 0 lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
Wow.
Pretty much the same play, Ed, as the first play of the game, where it was just a stretch to the left, and UB, they just keep hammering you with the run game. We'll watch again. Tight end and the lead back. Watch both these guys. They're both going to get the good kick out, find the linebacker, boom, Patterson cuts it behind. And I'm telling you right now, Kent State safeties have to play better than this. I mean, the safeties for Kent State, they've got to make that tackle. They're unblocked, middle of the field. They got to step up there, and they got to stick Patterson for a 6 or 7 yard gain.
McNulty on for another point after try, and it's good. 21 ticks to go. Opening quarter, 3 touchdowns for Patterson, and Lance Leipold's offense getting it done with 21 here in the opening period.
Let's take a look at what Patterson has done already in this game. The first play, it was a stretch to the left. He got some good blocking downfield, almost took that one all the way to the end zone, was able to score after that. That was his first time in the end zone. Then he gets in a second time, and the play we just saw cuts it right off Nowitzki, the center, who got a great reach to the front side, won that gap, and Patterson is off and running 156 yards on 8 carries. I mean, He's got 156 yards in the first quarter.
As if 301 last week wasn't enough, he broke his own school record at Bowling Green. You said it, hasn't taken him long to get it done thus far.
I don't think he'll get there, Ed, but he's on pace for over 600 yards in the game. I'm going to tell you, I doubt he gets there, but he's on pace for over 600. I love those on-pace stats you see all the time.
America, if you're watching, he's 5'9". He's always played with a chip on his shoulder. He is off to a terrific start. Touchback here for Kent State. Bring it out to the 25-yard line in the closing seconds of the first quarter. Another flag on the play.
Yeah, late in the play, it looked like Tyree Thompson, number 27, the UCLA transfer for UB, was getting in a bit of a ruckus. It's either a ruckus or a fracas. Not sure.
Here in Buffalo, we'll call it a wing bowl.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 27 of the kicking team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And Tyree Thompson, transfer from UCLA.
It's so funny to watch Sean Lewis. He's 6'7.5", almost 6'8". You don't often see head coaches that tower every player they're talking to. I mean, like anytime he's talking to anybody, he's 3 or 4 inches tall. You just usually coaches are normal-sized dudes looking up at big football players.
Now poke in motion. Instead, the delayed give to Bradford. Bradford to midfield. He was slowed down for a moment by Tyrone Hill, but he's into Buffalo territory. You know, Sean Lewis looks like a guy who may have played at Wisconsin, and he did in 06 and 07.
Yeah, let's see if they can get another playoff here before the end of the quarter.
From out of the shotgun. They will. It's Bradford, slowed up by George Wallow, and that will end the first quarter.
The end of the first quarter.
But what a first quarter it was for Jarrett Patterson and Buffalo. 3 touchdowns for the junior. It's college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. Twisted Tea brings you our tailgate contest. We'll get another look at that when we have an opportunity as the second quarter is underway here in Buffalo. Brian Bradford with the rush for Kent State. Ed Cohen, Ross Tucker, our entire CBS Sports Network crew on to start for the Bulls with 3 TDs from Jarrett Patterson.
Very likely 4-down territory here for Kent State, so they could run it.
Take the give, and on the slant, McCoy made the catch, but there's a flag on the play. Our referee is Jeremy Valentine here today.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
That's the left guard, Adam Gregory, the senior.
You know, that's one of the issues when you run these RPO offenses, is the offensive line is usually block and run. They don't know you're going to pull the football and throw it. The quarterback's usually reading one guy. A lot of times it's the outside linebacker away from the run. But Gregory at 6'6", 332, he's got to block it like you're handing the ball off, and you only get 3 yards downfield.
It's the give to Bradford. Stumbles to the 40-yard line. It's about 2 yards short of the first down here for Kent State.
3rd and 10 means you're going, 3rd and 10 run means you're going for it on 4th down. They got to wait for McCoy to get back on the line of scrimmage.
From the 40 on a 4th and 2. Crump to the outside, catch is made. And the first down completion to Isaac Vance, the junior from New Mexico. That's what he does best as a possession guy.
Wow, you got a lot of confidence in your quarterback if you're throwing an out route on 4th and 2. I mean, it was actually decent coverage, too. You need your quarterback to make sure he puts that ball on the money. That's exactly what Crum did.
Kent State going 4 wide. Bradford takes the handoff. Bradford still on his feet. And finally slowed up by the pile of Buffalo defenders led by Tyrone Hill.
Well, they run 3 different backs. Bradford at 225 pounds is the banger of the backs.
The redshirt freshman Bradford from St. Louis. From the 21, 2nd and 1. Just behind Isaac Vance. Couldn't reach down for it. And 3rd and short here for the Golden Flashes.
Man, I could also watch Malcolm Kuntz all game. He has a really nice hesitation. Look, he's not Khalil Mack, but he certainly reminds me of Khalil Mack playing that position in that uniform and some of the moves he's able to throw. Watch him here.
Again, it's Bradford, and again, it's Wallow who gets there for Buffalo and slows him in his tracks. And another 4th down decision here for Kent State, trailing by 11.
And I think they're going to kick another field goal here, which is probably the right decision to make it a 1-score game. You make this, you're down 8. But again, their defense hasn't shown a great ability to stop UB, so you almost feel like every time you don't go for it on 4th and 2 in this game, that it's a missed opportunity. Now, remember, they almost jumped last time. UB did.
Trickett was good from 27.
This time, I think Kent State
False start.
jumped.
Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
And move him a little further back.
This is the 2nd 4th and 2 where they've elected to kick a field goal. You'll see 71 right there. Can't see it there, but I had seen him move his arm just a little bit. Kudik is playing left tackle for him. But this is the 2nd 4th and 2. Now it's 4th and 7 that Kent State elected to take a field goal rather than go for it.
This is a 44-yarder. Trickett lets it fly. Off the post. No good. And Buffalo will take over with a 21-10 lead.
Well, and that's just a disaster then. I mean, you don't go for it on 4th and 2. Instead, you kick a field goal to try to make it a 1-score game. And the MAC Special Teams Player of the Year a year ago doinks it right off the left upright. UB still up by 2 scores.
Let's take a look at how some fans are tailgating from home. Brought to you by Twisted Tea and Ross. We got the goat, a little bottle of wine, the game on the monitor. It looks like some Giants and Yankees fans there in New York.
Okay, but my question is, it looks like the suburbs there. I mean, they had a fence and the house was right next to them. They just have a goat hanging out in their backyard. Like, that didn't look like a farm in the middle of nowhere. I'll take it.
Full viewing experience for the goat. The fans tailgating at home. As for this one, Ed Cohen, Ross Tucker with you from Buffalo. Bulls take over after a missed field goal by Trickett from 44 yards out, and it's Patterson with the run on 1st down. As we look at Lance Leipold, his offense first 4 possessions, 3 scores all on the ground, courtesy of Mr. Patterson.
Yeah, he had 1 whale of a first quarter, but that's a good 1st down stop by Kent State. Exactly what they need to do is try to get some short gains on 1st down. Try to put UB in obvious passing situations if you can.
Van Treese with time, looking left side. Nunn adjusts, spins, couldn't come up with it. Acrobatic attempt there from Antonio Nunn, and it was broken up by Kent State's Jeremiah Salam.
Yeah, great body control by Nunn and outstanding coverage by Salam. You know, Nunn almost able to bring that in. Salam, that's the 2nd time in this game he's been up to the challenge as they've tried to test him deep.
Here's a top receiving threat for the Bulls. Van Treese and Buffalo 3 of 4 on 3rd down to start the game. 4 wideouts. Patterson. Van Treese steps up. High throw. And through the hands of his target, Trevor Wilson. And Kent State gets a stop on 3rd and 9.
Yeah, and that whole thing started with holding Patterson to 1 yard on 1st down. Because they held Patterson to 1 yard on 1st down, UB threw it the next 2 plays. It's not what they do nearly as well as running the football, and that's a big-time 3 and out for Kent State after that missed field goal.
Kevin Finnegan on for the punt for Buffalo. Raymond James is back for Kent State. James will let it bounce. and he'll take it, and he's crushed. Drilled inside the 25-yard line. Max Michel after a 48-yard punt.
Max Michel plays DN, used to play linebacker. Watch this hit. Ooh, my goodness. Welcome back to Buffalo, and as suspected, Ed, when we saw that first replay of the hit by Michel, they are taking a look at this for targeting. Watch number 6, crown of the helmet right to the face mask of James Jr. Watch number 6 again. Watch the helmet. Yeah, that's what they're trying to get rid of. I think he's gone. Take one more look at it. Drops the head, crown of the helmet right to the head of James Jr. That's a vicious hit, and that's exactly what they're trying to eliminate from the sport of football.
You could feel it in real speed. And the Bulls, Max Michel, awaiting the decision. Michel Jr. from Elizabeth, New Jersey. That's a guy who's really been key for Buffalo. And this is obviously something they've emphasized, especially here in 2020. Let's hear from Jeremy Valentine.
After reviewing the play, it was determined that a targeting foul was committed by Buffalo player number 6 for using the crown of his helmet to attack an opponent. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed from the 25-yard line. Number 6 for Buffalo is disqualified for the remainder of the game.
Now, Ross, you said it on the replay. Pretty clear as day.
Yeah, I mean, when we saw it live, I thought it was just a big hit. And then the first replay we showed right before we went to commercial break, it looked pretty vicious. It looked like it might be helmet to helmet. And then during the break, I mean, it doesn't matter what angle you see him. That's textbook targeting. Now, James Jr. was no longer a defenseless player, but it's crown of helmet there. So there's two things for targeting, defenseless player or crown of the helmet. Pretty clear crown of the helmet there.
Kent State begins at their own 40-yard line to the outside. Jay Shaw Polk just shy of midfield. 8-yard pickup for Kent State as Logic Hudgens got him for Buffalo.
Remember, this year, unlike previous years, Michel can stay out there. He can't come back in the football game, but he can stay on the sideline with his teammates.
2nd and 1 for the Golden Flashes up the middle and into Buffalo territory. They've got the first down. It's Marquez Cooper with the run. First 4 trips for Kent State, and the touchdown late in the first quarter courtesy of the tight end Chris Leach. From the 42, Crum fakes, big pass downfield, catch is made, touchdown. Now there's a flag on the play. We'll see if it's another big play score for Isaiah McCoy of Kent State.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's defensive pass interference, and McCoy scored anyway.
Pass interference, defense number 18. That penalty is declined. Touchdown.
42 yards, no surprise that it's McCoy.
No, I mean, he's the real McCoy. Take a look at him at the top of the screen. It's just man-to-man coverage, and he just runs a deep post, really a skinny post. Baker can't stay with him. I don't know about the interference call there. It looks to me like he just got beat, but McCoy is so talented. Coaches told us he's the most talented player on the team.
Extra point, good for Trickett. You go back to the start of last year. That's 11 times now that McCoy has hauled in a touchdown of at least 20 yards. Here's the latest one.
Well, it always starts with protection. Crum steps it up, plenty of time, and McCoy is the deep threat. Pretty easy touchdown for Kent State. They are right back in this thing.
Isaiah McCoy, 42-yard touchdown. Kent State within 4 of Buffalo as we take a look at the college football playoff poll that's powered by Ram Trucks. And Kent State certainly making their case out of the group of 5. 3-0 start. They are perfect, as is Buffalo here in 2020.
Feels like a pretty important possession for Lance Leipold and his Buffalo Bulls. Kent State's narrowed the lead on you. They got to get back to Jarrett Patterson. They have not thrown the ball very well today at all. They only have 28 yards passing, 173 on the ground, most of which is Jarrett Patterson.
And Buffalo will begin at its own 25-yard line. Here's the college football playoff poll. It's powered by Ram Trucks and Ross Tucker. Iron Bowl, 3:30 Eastern, among the highlights today on CBS.
Yeah, Iron Bowl, 3:30 Eastern, and Nick Saban will be watching on CBS, just like the rest of us. The Alabama head coach is COVID positive. I saw this morning he said he's feeling pretty good, just a little bit of a runny nose, but he obviously will not be there at the game today.
Ohio State canceled as well. Notre Dame holding on in Chapel Hill last night. Van Treese and the Bulls start at the 25. Patterson, they fake the give to him. Van Treese rolling out, throws complete. Giovanni Ruiz avoids a tackle. He's finally dragged out past midfield here for Buffalo. 26-yard pass to Ruiz.
Well, and credit Andy Kotelnicki, the offensive coordinator for UB. Why? Everything's going right. Everything's going right. You think it's that stretch zone that Patterson's had 2 big plays on. Nope, it's boot away from it to Giovanni Ruiz. That's a really nice first down play call. I was thinking run. I was thinking stretch to the left. So was Kent State's defense. Makes for a pretty easy pitch and catch for Van Treese.
First and 10 from the Kent State 49. Wilson in motion. Here's Patterson. Escapes a tackle. Splits a hole. Patterson's off once again. Jarrett Patterson, how about 4 touchdowns here in the opening half? And the latest one from 49 yards. It's no joke. This kid's for real.
Official timeout for an injured Kent State defender.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen this before. You know, we've got 10 minutes left in the second quarter,
Timeout
and
on the
he
field
just had
for me.
his 3rd long touchdown run here. And they're going against a team that's won 7 games in a row. They're going against a team that's undefeated, and they just have not had an answer for Jarrett Patterson. 20 carries, 206 yards. Oh, 10 carries, 206 yards. Excuse me.
You'd imagine it takes 30 on most days.
20 carries would be a lot. I read the 2 wrong.
What this young man has
Was he
done.
going on the bike now? Did you see that? There's an injured player for Kent State. Did Jarrett Patterson just go right on a bike on the sideline? Hard to see who the injured player is. Look at him. He's riding a bike. The guy's got 206 yards on 10 carries with 10 minutes left in the second quarter, and he rides the bike on the sideline during breaks.
Looks like it's Richie Carpenter, senior cornerback here for Kent State, as they slowly help him up. But you're right, Ross Tucker. Jarrett Patterson, all 5'9" of him, is putting his stamp on this game that we dubbed potentially as the game of the year in the MAC. And the vaunted Buffalo ground attack, usually it's Marks and Patterson. Today, it's been Patterson and breaking through some huge plays once again.
Well, here's the thing. Kent State is going to keep scoring. So Jarrett Patterson's going to stay in the game for Buffalo, and they're going to put up a lot of points. He is going to have a ridiculous amount of yards in this game. I mean, barring something really unforeseen, Jarrett Patterson start to get out all the record books for UB, for the MAC, for everything ever, because he's headed that direction.
301 last week against Bowling Green, broke his own record, which was 298 last year against the Falcons. Another extra point try, Alex McNulty, and it is good. So riding the coattails of that young man. Buffalo 28, Kent State 17 with 9:46 to go, second quarter in Western New York.
Well, what's so crazy about it is talking with Jarrett yesterday, he said, you know what, I didn't get nearly that many offers. He didn't get as many offers as his brother James. UB was the only school that offered both of them. Good decision by UB, program-changing decision potentially for UB.
And you get the sense, a guy like him, you never forget that. And you mentioned Jared and James. They said to schools, hey, we're a package deal. So if you want one, you have to offer both.
There's a lot of schools out there. James had over 20 offers at linebacker. There's a lot of schools out there that regret not offering his twin brother, Jared. I mean, they've only played 3 games so far, but if this were any other conference where they had been playing 7, 8, 9 games, we'd start to talk about Jarrett Patterson for Heisman.
Nolte with the kickoff. And Kent State will get it at the 25-yard line. Well, talked about the twins, Jared and James, grew up in Glendale, Maryland. They're similar in many ways. Obviously, Jarrett, running back, James at linebacker, and the smiles, and now the seriousness of these two bulls. And Ross haven't had many circumstances. Two brothers, first time in MAC history, winning Player of the Week in the same week.
I mean, that is so cool, so special. Their parents must just be beaming. Can you imagine? And all the memories and time they're getting to spend with each other, because who knows what'll happen, obviously, you know, once their UB careers are over.
From the Kent State offense, go to work, deep ball, McCoy adjusting, couldn't bring it in, but a flag on the play. Isaiah King was all over Isaiah McCoy, and it looks like Kent State will move it forward.
These guys can't stay with McCoy. I mean, McCoy's lightning, and they're not getting their head turned around. Watch.
Pass interference, defense, number 4. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You know, that's the 3rd pass interference. I want to take another look at that, because at the end of it, that was not interference at the end of that play. Now, he might have grabbed McCoy's arm and wrist a little bit earlier, but when the ball got there, look, right there, he might be grabbing his arm, but right there when the ball comes, that was a nice play by King.
Hope on the jet sweep, trying to turn the corner, escapes the tackle of Wright. He was tripped up as he made his way to the boundary. That was Washington. Ray Washington, the cornerback, with the stop.
Yeah, Gaddafi Wright, 31, really forced Polk to go much wider than he wanted to, which pushed him all the way to the sideline of Washington.
From the 39. Kent State sticking with the ground game. That'll bring up 3rd down opportunity here for the Golden Flashes as Cooper was stopped. And a man down for Buffalo's defensive tackle, Ronald McGee.
For an injured defender.
That's been the one issue for the Bulls, especially on defense, the injuries. Lance Leipold has had to turn to numerous guys throughout the year, including McGee.
D-line and secondary in particular. Look for 92 right there. He's making the tackle. Ooh. Never like seeing the guy's neck get knocked back like that at the tail end of a play.
I'll take a timeout. The officials timeout as they work on Ronald McGee. Here with 9:01 to go in the second quarter. And the Buffalo Bulls took them 2 plays right off the bat on their first drive to score. A 62-yard run from Patterson, then he punched it in from 3 yards out, and they have not looked back as McGee is still slow to get up for Buffalo.
Well, I'm just glad he's up, moving his head, moving his shoulder. You know, anytime you see a guy's head and neck go back like that, it's good to see some movement.
Now McGee, a junior from Sumter, South Carolina. Now you mentioned earlier Khalil Mack, who last played at Buffalo 2013. He was the MAC Defensive Player of the Year. 3 years later, he's the NFL Defensive Player of the Year. And Lance Leipold said, hey, we didn't coach Khalil Mack here at Buffalo. It wasn't our staff at the time, but it helps when a guy like that's coming out of a school like this.
Sure. It's a lot of publicity. I mean, he's a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. A lot of publicity for UB, their program. Absolutely helps.
A 3rd and 8 here for Kent State. From their own 41. From fakes the give. Looking outside. He's got a man. And completes it across midfield. A big hit knocks down Isaac Vance. But they've got the first down into Buffalo territory.
Kent State will get right on back on the football.
The flash fast offense. Crum trying to spin off his man. Crum dragging the pile a few more yards to the 41.
Watch how fast. They're like machines, man. I mean, as soon as he can get up, he gets up, gives the ball to the official. UB's trying to get some new guys on here. Kent State needs to snap the ball. They got 12 guys out there. I don't know if they'll have the field.
From slinging it out again to Vance. If it's hard for us and people watching to say, what are they doing next? Imagine for a team like Buffalo, which has practiced this really throughout the year, whether it's Kent State or somebody else.
And Buffalo wasn't concerned about the tempo. They said they run 2 huddles. They were ready for it.
Illegal substitution. Defense, 12 players on the field. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down. Correction.
Yeah, they snapped the ball. He was
First
still
down.
out there.
As Kyler Lang, number 55 for Buffalo.
It's going to be very difficult to...
Correction. After enforcement of the penalty, it'll be beyond the line to gain. 1st and 10.
It's going to be very difficult to substitute while Kent State is going with their flash fast offense. Very difficult substitute. UB tried to do it. If you're going to do it, you got to do it right away, and your guys need to sprint off the field. And now there's confusion among the officials as to just where the football is supposed to be right here.
Ross, it's dubbed flash fast. I wouldn't recommend saying that 5 times fast, but fun, accountable, smart, and tough. That's the acronym
Kent State
for Sean Lewis.
selecting to decline the substitution foul to take the result of the play for a 1st down. 1st and 10, Kent State.
It's a 2-yard difference. But you'd rather have the yards in the stat sheet than the 5 penalty yards, so you might as well.
Now take it here, 1st and 10 from the Buffalo 34. From to Cephas. Dante Cephas losing the football. It's loose, and Buffalo's got it. Eddie Wilson jumping on it, and the Bulls capitalize on the first turnover of the game.
Still haven't seen a call from the officials. They're talking it over. Dante Cephas doesn't seem to be arguing very much.
The ruling on the field was a fumble recovered by the defense. 1st down, Buffalo.
Oh no, his knee's down, I think. Left knee's down. I'm surprised Cephas didn't argue more.
The previous play of a fumble and recovery by the defense is under further review.
I mean, not only is his left knee down, but then his shoulder and elbow were down. He was down like 3 different places before that ball came out. No chance is that a fumble.
That second look that we received from our crew.
Watch. He still has it. It's in there. Left knee's down. He still has it.
Yep.
Now watch. It doesn't really even come out until his elbow hits the ground. And he was down 2 or 3 different ways before that ball came out. Right then is when it starts to come out. This should be about a 5-second replay review.
And first glance is this is going to stay Kent State football. We'll get the official word when Jeremy Valentine has completed his conversation with the replay booth. And Dante Cephas making that catch. You mentioned the games you called of his at Penn Hills High School, his days in the Pittsburgh area.
They were loaded. Absolutely loaded. I think everybody can see at this point that's not a fumble. It should be Kent State's ball. I think right now they're probably just making sure they know how much time should be on the clock, what down it is, and exactly where the ball needs to be spotted. Kent State's ready to run a play while Jeremy Valentine's still talking. There's not a single person out there that has any doubt as to what's going to happen here. It's just getting the particulars correct.
It's amazing how fast this offense operates. Every Thursday of a normal week when they play on the weekend, they run 100 plays in 30 minutes. They simulate it. And Sean Lewis has said now he has the right guy to
After
run it.
reviewing the play, the ball carrier had a knee and elbow down before the ball came loose. It is no longer a fumble. The call is on the field has changed. It'll be 2nd down and 4 from the 27-yard line.
As expected.
Yep. And you know, one of the reasons why they run tempo is just because of how many reps they get both in practice and the games. Sean Lewis said we think we develop our players faster and better because the more reps, the more you develop.
Cooper. And brought down at the 22-yard line by E.J. Brown. And the clock runs with 7:39 to go here in the second quarter. 1st and 10 for Kent State after the 5-yard pickup. 3 wide for the Golden Flashes. Crum pulled it out. Flag on the play as he's brought down. 2 flags now. Brown dropped him. And we await the penalties here with 7:20 left before the break.
Boy, you don't see that very often at all. Crum getting sacked on an RPO there. I mean, he pulled the ball from the belly of Cooper. That usually means what he's seeing is he should throw it, but then he didn't throw it.
There are 2 fouls in the previous play, 1 on each team. Holding, offense number 11. Holding, defense number 3. Those penalties offset. Replay, 1st down.
Well, that's a big break for Kent State because that was a huge loss for Kent State there, and you get the offsetting penalties. Not all offsetting penalties are created equal.
And they go 4 wide this time. Crum, quick pass, and well short of his man Vance, and Brown was hovering in the vicinity for Buffalo. It was expected that Kent State would air it out a little more here against the Bulls. Incomplete that time.
Yeah, one of his worst throws of the day, just trying to throw that speed out again to Vance.
It's from the 4-4-0, Grafton, Ohio. And the pitch to Cooper, trying to turn the corner and doesn't get much. Met at the 21-yard line. E.J. Brown has been all over the place last couple of plays.
That's exactly what Brian Borland, the defensive coordinator for UB, said he brings to the table. He's a junior college transfer from Iowa Central. He doesn't even know what he's doing all the time because he just got there and wasn't there for spring ball, but he will hit you.
Poke in motion. Crum escapes a tackle. Crum still on his feet. He's got the 1st down, and he's going to the end zone. Dustin Crum, touchdown. Bumper car city in Buffalo. Just when you think the play is dead, Crum says, not so fast.
I mean, he doesn't even look like he's moving that fast. I think he has unbelievably long strides because it never looks like he's actually moving that fast, but he's gaining a lot of ground and he breaks tackles, even busted out a spin move there as they attend to a Buffalo Bull, another injured Buffalo Bull on that play.
Yeah, it looks like it's Prey Washington, the junior cornerback from Charlotte, North Carolina. For Ross, an ongoing story entering this game. Let's take a look at the injury first.
He's pulling the jersey and runs into his own teammate. He was trying to hold on to McCoy, literally pulling his t-shirt, and then he ran in to his teammate there. Sometimes those are the ones that really get you. I think it was Corey Gross Jr., but sometimes those are the ones that get you because you're not expecting it at all when it's friendly fire. You're usually able to brace for contact, but if it comes out of nowhere with a teammate, it can put you in a bad spot.
Now clearly shaken up. Keep an eye on Washington. But a 20-yard touchdown from Crum, capping a 10-play, 75-yard drive in a little over 3 minutes.
Again, they'll just go for one here. I think that Sean Lewis is expecting a lot of touchdowns and doesn't want to chase points.
Point after try is good for Trickett. Crum delivers again on the ground. Kent State back within 4. Good luck trying to bring down this senior quarterback. It's college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. Dustin Crum's accounted for 3 touchdowns in this one. Coming off an efficient drive down the field, Ross Tucker for Kent State.
Yeah, Dustin Crum really showed it all on that drive and really through the game. He had the deep throw earlier to Pope where he dropped it right in the bucket, the touchdown throw to Leach, and then how about this run right here? Bounces off one, spins off the other. I mean, to me, he always looks a little awkward as he's doing it, but look at the numbers. You can't argue with the results, man. Over 200 total yards and 3 touchdowns already.
Most efficient quarterback in the MAC. 75% completion. His 3rd best in the country as Trickett kicks it away and into the end zone for a touchback. Well, Tuesday at 6 Eastern, we switch over to college hoops as Navy makes a short drive to our nation's capital, take on the big fella Patrick Ewing and his Georgetown Hoyas. Catch it all on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. I look back to last year. Both programs trying to turn the corner in this brand new college basketball season.
Yeah, college basketball, kind of like college football, where you have to make sure you're paying attention to which games are being played and which games aren't with all the cancellations.
Vantrease and the Bulls back on the field. Vantrease to Ruiz once again. And taken down shy of the 35-yard line. Mentioned Vantrease from Stowe, Ohio. You have Crum for Kent State. He's from Grafton. And Ross, both these guys, beginning of 2019, lost their respective quarterback competitions, but by the end of the year, were leading their teams to bowl victories.
Great lessons there for everybody in college football, really in life. You know, they stuck with it. They didn't hop in the transfer portal right away, and their opportunities came later, and they made the most of it. They haven't given it up.
Marks shifts over for Buffalo. This is Patterson on the ground. Another big run across midfield. Patterson just try and bring him down. He squirts inside the 35 of Buffalo with under 6 to go in the second.
Yep, watch this time it's stretched to the right. Good block by the running back Marks again. I love how the running backs block for each other. Nobody ever gets a good shot on Patterson. Kent State defenders having a really tough time getting off of blocks. That's the understatement of the century right now.
That went for 32. He's nearing 200 for this half alone on the ground. For the 34, Patterson again, and picks up a couple. It's unbelievable, though. We talked about a single game record-breaking performance last week. He's number 2 now. Buffalo's all-time rushing list has Brandon Oliver to catch. Might not have enough games to get to him this year, but by next year he could be in prime position.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'd be surprised if he doesn't break his record from last week. He's got 241 yards now at this point.
2nd and 6. Vantrease on the slant. Cook's got it. Cook spins inside the 20-yard line here for Buffalo. Another first down pickup for the Bulls.
Nice throw there by Vantrease. They haven't had a big day throwing it so far, but it's a couple nice passes by Vantrease on this drive. Just a straight drop back. You don't see this very often. He throws the in-breaking route. It's really nice to do that, especially opposite of where the strength of the formation is, so that you can stretch the defense horizontally a little bit.
1st and 10 from the 16. Patterson again trying to hop over the pile and leaps past the 15-yard line. Bring up 2nd down here for Buffalo. A couple of players down for the Bulls.
Officials timeout for an injured defender.
And that is good company sandwiched between 2 former NFL running backs.
Yeah, both those guys had success in the NFL and played for a good number of years, and I think most people believe that's where Jarrett Patterson's heading, whether it's after this year or next year.
Yeah, product of the Maryland area. There are the numbers. That's just today. 13 for 243 and 4 scores.
It would be a major upset if he doesn't break the school record he set in the last game of 301 yards.
You know, this young man, numbers just falling left and right. We said this at the top. No one in the country had picked up 300 yards on the ground this season until Patterson did it last week, and might have another opportunity here as Caleb Johns is down for Kent State.
Well, that wouldn't be good because he's one of their best linebackers. Bunch of guys going down, and he can't really watch his right foot. He can't really walk the way he wants to on that.
He has seen more time recently. Manny Lawrence Burke has been bothered by a hamstring injury. A linebacking core for Kent State. And Johns was all over the field last week against Akron with 10 tackles. That led the Golden Flashes. You know, I say Akron, but in the Kent State program, they are only known as the school down the road, and they harped on that throughout the week.
Not one of them mentioned Akron. I mean, they are trained, man. Every comment they made was that school down the road, that school in the last game against that school down the road. Man-to-man coverage, bottom of your screen for Antonio Nunn if they want it.
Wilson in motion on a 2nd and 8. Patterson run to the left. Picks up a couple of more. 3rd down is coming up for Buffalo. So in your case, at Princeton, the school down the road, I take it, was those guys down in Philadelphia?
Yes. You know, we didn't do it back then. We would just say we didn't like Penn. But now it's the whole thing. I think Ohio State and Michigan started that, where you don't even mention their name or you take the letters out. I guess it's all in good fun.
Now Buffalo has converted 3 3rd downs in 5 plays. Van Treese kept it himself to the outside. Did he get there? Just shy of the goal line. A well-disguised fake to Patterson draws all the attention today. Van Treese right on the doorstep. 1st and goal coming up for Buffalo.
Yeah, it's a really nice play design right there. Because Van Treese doesn't run it a whole lot. Everybody's expecting Patterson every time they give him the ball. So for Van Treese to pull that and go around the edge like that's really well done. Love that play call by UB offensive coordinator Andy Kotelnicki.
From the 1, Van Treese to Patterson. He dives. He's in. Touchdown. Jared Patterson, number 5 in the first half alone.
Well, I've been doing games for a long time now. I don't think I can ever remember a guy having 5 touchdowns in the first half. And by the way, there's 2 minutes and 17 seconds left, so who knows? This is just ISO. Good kick out by Molinich, the fullback. Patterson just slides in.
Over 200 yards, 5 scores, all of Buffalo's points. Rushed for 62 yards on their first play from scrimmage. Has not looked back. McNulty good on the extra point. 35-24. The Bulls and another shootout between these two in what could be the game of the year in the conference.
15 carries, 247 yards, 5 touchdowns with 2 minutes left in the first half. And they didn't even have to get any really big runs from here. Oh, right back on the bike. He never stops, right back on the bike. Watch, they fake the inside zone. Van Treese pulls it, and that's the last thing that Kent State was expecting. I thought he scored there. He almost scored there. And then here comes Patterson, right in that soft spot of the Kent State defense.
That bike getting a lot of work.
That's like a bike that they have like when you take a spinning class. Like they couldn't give him like something a little heavier duty than that. That's like a spinning class bike. Looks like that thing could topple over. Most people, sorry, I was gonna say I think most people understand this, but you do that to stay warm, especially maybe if he's nursing some type of lower body injury. Doesn't seem to be bothering him that much, whatever it is.
Just taken near the goal line by Hope. Slips past the 25-yard line. All coming up on the Ram halftime report. It'll be Adam Zucker, Rick Neuheisel, Brian Jones. They will get you all caught up on what is happening here today in college football.
During the return, holding number 29 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, 1st and 10, Kent State.
Now the Golden Flashes will begin at the 15-yard line in the closing minutes of the second quarter.
Yeah, I would say they're going to run their 2-minute offense, but that's their normal offense, is up-tempo. Interesting to see them start with a run, but Bradford at 6 foot 243 gets a first down. That stops the clock in college football until they move the chains. And sometimes when you're backed up like that, you want to make sure you at least get one first down before you really start trying to rack up the yardage.
Right to the line of scrimmage from the 26. It's Crum throwing behind McCoy, adjusts to it, spun down inside the 40-yard line. What a catch there by Mr. McCoy.
This is like a video game right now. I feel like I'm playing against my buddies in Madden. I mean, McCoy just beats him right at the line again. They cannot handle McCoy.
Charge timeout. Buffalo, their first of the half. 30 seconds in length.
Latest reception of 26 yards, and timeout for the Bulls, trying to preserve some time if they get the ball back late in the second period.
So here's what I don't understand. I think this is what Leipold's frustrated about. Why are you pressing Isaiah McCoy in this situation? I mean, you know he's lightning and that you can't really stay with him. If you don't have any safety help over the top, I'd be playing off coverage a little bit more than that. And probably if you're UB, you need to have safety help over the top of McCoy because they can't really handle him deep down the field.
He's already got a 42-yard touchdown. Arguably the most talented guy on this Kent State offense.
He's got 80 yards on 2 catches, and he's drawn pass interference penalty a couple times as well.
4 wide again for Kent State. Bradford, they've got to him quite a bit in this first half. Bradford tripped up at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, and they can actually take their time a little bit more now, which sounds weird to say with Kent State. It's not what they do, but they've got 3 timeouts, and they're already inside the 40.
2nd and 7. Quick out to McCoy. Gets out of bounds. This is similar to the drive that ended the first half against Akron last week. 6 plays, took them less than 40 seconds to score.
Anytime they go empty, I'm always alert for a Crum run, especially on 3rd and 3 here.
There it is, as advertised. Crum will move the sticks to the 26-yard line here with 1:21 left in this first half.
Well, when they go empty, UP only has 5 guys in the box. So you got hat on a hat, and Crum can just pick his way to get the first down.
Clock now running. Crum to the outside. Shallow pass. It's broken up by King, intended for Dante Cephas, and that will freeze the clock.
Really nice job there by King. It feels like these UB DBs are being picked on a little bit, but that's man-to-man. Crum sees it. King, who might be the fastest guy on UB's team, breaks the ball. The ball was actually thrown a little bit late and behind the intended receiver. Gave King a chance to make that play.
2nd and 10. Crum keeps it, now throws, bobbled, incomplete. Pass across the middle to McCoy.
I think McCoy might have heard footsteps there a little bit. Watch, he's looking, he's coming in breaking around. He knows the safety's there. He knows he's about to get hit. He started to look for that before he caught it. He knew Gross Jr. was coming.
Kent State, Ross is 4 of 8 on 3rd down. Empty again, 5 wide, 3 near for the Golden Flashes. Crum over the middle, a tough catch from Vance, just shy, it appears, of the first down marker. And they're going to take a timeout here with 1 minute to play in the first half.
Charge timeout. Kent State, their first of the half, 30 seconds in length.
I'm not really sure why Sean Lewis would call a timeout there. I mean, I think they were going to give him the first down, so the clock stops in college football. I think Sean Lewis thought he was short, and it was going to be fourth down, and he wanted a timeout for the fourth and short play call. But I don't think he really would have wanted to call timeout there if he knew it was a first down, because the clock stops as they move the chains.
The ruling on the field in the previous play was a first down and a completed catch. That play is under further review.
And now they're even going to review it. You know, him calling time. Look how tall he is compared to the rest of the team. I mean, you never see that. But him calling timeout also gives them a chance to review whether or not he actually got the first down. It's like a double whammy there for Sean Lewis calling timeout there.
Let's take a look. This is Vance. Oh, no question.
Well, it's tough to see from there just where he is. He obviously caught the ball. But these are tough looks to see where the ball should be spotted. Knees down there. Unless we have a look. Yeah, this should be the best one. Okay, he's right at about, I'm going to say, the 16.5-yard line. They gave him the 16. They gave him a really favorable spot. Wow. This might end up being a really, really bad timeout by Sean Lewis. Because he could be at like the 16.5, maybe even the 17-yard line where that left knee went down. So then they'd have to have fourth and short.
After review, video evidence has determined that the runner was down at the 17-yard line, which is 1 yard short of the line to gain. It'll be fourth down and 1 at the 17.
Wow, that's an incredible series of events right there. Sean Lewis called timeout because he thought they were short. And he thought it's going to be fourth down, the clock's going to be running, I need to call timeout here. The refs gave him the first down, and he didn't need to call timeout, and him calling timeout enabled him to review it, puts him in a fourth down where they might get stuffed here.
Let's see if they can make the timeout stick
Charge timeout,
and make
Buffalo.
up for that decision. Buffalo's going to use
30 seconds in length.
a timeout of their own before this fourth and 1.
That Sean Lewis timeout has cost us all 2.5 minutes of our lives at this point. I mean, you had the Kent State timeout, then you had the replay review, now you've got the UB timeout. We're not getting this time back.
Nope. Now you look at the score right now, and we have spoken about Patterson and his 5 touchdowns and what Buffalo's been able to do. It's a big fourth down. If Kent State can put up points before halftime, still a one-possession game, as much as Buffalo has had success on the ground.
Yeah, and you would expect this to be some sort of read play. It's interesting to see Cooper's out there and not Bradford. We'll see if they motion Cooper back in. But if they're empty here, I'm keeping 6 in the box. I'm making him throw it. I'm not letting Crum run this.
Crum over the middle, incomplete, way behind his man McCoy. And the Bulls with Kuntz getting a hand on it. Turnover on downs for Kent State.
Wow, mark that down. Minute left in the second quarter. Kent State gets a first down. Sean Lewis, their head coach, doesn't think it is, so he calls timeout. They end up trying to throw it. Kuntz, the pass rusher, drops underneath the slant, and McCoy gets his right hand on it. That is a gigantic stop for the UB Bulls. Absolutely enormous.
You know, Trickett missed from 44 earlier for Kent State off the upright.
I'm okay with going for it. I don't like throwing the football there.
So Patterson lined up in the backfield with under a minute to go. Patterson running left and across the 20-yard line as the clock continues to run with 48 ticks to go.
Everybody else in America would throw the ball here, but Patterson's averaging like 30 yards a carry, so UB gives him a shot.
23, Patterson again shifting. Patterson, help comes from the Kent State defense. He still gets past the 30-yard line. West on his tail.
UB has a timeout. I think they might take a shot here soon.
Tight end LaFave shifts. Van Treese throws to Nunn. Nunn taken down just shy of the 45-yard line.
It's another first down. Stop the clock again. UB can keep the timeout, get lined up, snap it as soon as they place it, set for play, snap the ball.
Patterson this time dancing near midfield and underneath that pile, and the timeout in tow. They'll use their final one of this opening half with 14 seconds left.
Boy, they must have really thought that he was going to be able to break a big one. Otherwise, that's a curious play call right there. All right, so you don't have any more timeouts, and there's 14 seconds left. You know, depending on the wind, Coach Leipold told us they need to get to about the 35-yard line. And actually, the wind is blowing in their faces. So they really want to get down more towards the 30 or even 25-yard line. So with no timeouts left, you're probably going to see an outbreaking route to try to split the difference here, get a quick catch, get out of bounds, and then be able to have one more play to try to get him in field goal range. So I would expect this to be some type of 15-yard out route here for the Bulls. 10 to 15 yards.
You know what the Buffalo Wind is all about. Your 2 years with the Bills and seeing what it can do to kickers and to teams as well, and trying to capitalize in the air.
I think it was like a 38-yard field goal one time. This would have been 04, I think. Ryan Lindell, our kicker, kicked it. I thought was about to go through the uprights. It boomeranged, got caught up in the wind, came back, and landed like 3 yards away from my feet.
Can't make it up.
I was offensive lineman. I mean, I don't think I'd ever seen that before. So this should be some type of outbreaking route to get out of bounds after about 10, 15 yards.
Their own 48.
Got to get out.
Johnson, he does, to extend over the sideline, and that freezes the clock with 9 seconds. Took 5 seconds that time.
Okay, so a play like that's going to take 5 seconds, 4 to 6 seconds. So they really only have one more play to get the ball in field goal range. I think they're going to try to get to the ball to about the 30-yard line here, with there being a slight wind in their face. So something here where it's 15 yards, get out of bounds in the next 6 to 8 seconds.
They just brought on Ruiz and Wilson. The two receivers lined up on the right side for the 45 of Kent State. It's Van Treese looking and overshoots his man Wilson with 5 seconds to go.
I mean, even if he catches it, they're going to tackle him right there, and they're not going to be able to spike a ball, I don't think, in time. Depending on how quickly he went down, that might almost be a blessing. So now your options are, Ed, if you think you can get a quick out in 4 seconds and then get into field goal range, you can do that. Otherwise, Hail Mary, you just put it up into the end zone, give your guys a shot at it.
Marks, the running back, in alongside Van Treese. They shift around the tight end of the fade. Van Treese with time, trying to send Ruiz up the sideline, and a flag comes in with zeros on the clock.
Oh my goodness, half can't end on a defensive penalty. They're going to get a field goal attempt out of this. That is unreal. I mean, even if he catches the pass, the half's over.
Pass interference, defense number 36, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. We will have one untimed down to end the first half.
That's a great call. Sample never got his head turned around, or Jeremiah Salam, I should say, never got his head turned around, and that's way better than if he had caught it. If he caught it, they're not getting any field goal off. But the penalty gives him an untimed down.
Now McNulty, first field goal attempt of the season in game number 4 from 47 yards out. And Kent State will use one of their
Charge timeout,
2 remaining
Kent State.
timeouts. So there's 2 interesting things
third and
right
final
there,
of the
right?
half.
Number 1, Sean Lewis trying to freeze the kicker a little bit, as you see the American flag there. And now the wind's whipping even more. This is going to, I mean, the field goal post is rattling a little bit. This is going to be a difficult kick. He's going to have to kick it really low to not let it get up there in the air in the wind. This could even be blocked because he's going to have to drive it really low. The other thing I was going to say, though, Ed, is the long snappers in the NFL, they're taught you hear the whistle blow, you snap the ball right away so that your kicker gets a free try at it. You know, gets a practice kick. As soon as you hear a whistle, that means the other team's calling timeout. You snap it and get that practice kick off.
All right, McNulty doesn't get that warm up. Here he is, or attempted again from 47. Final play of the first half. Snaps down, McNulty, well, he got it low, but no chance on this attempt, and at the break,
The end of the first half.
the Bulls and Jaret Patterson, all 5 of their touchdowns for the junior on the ground. They lead this one over Kent State, 35-24.
Well, he definitely had it low enough.
First half in the books. Maction from Buffalo with the Bulls by 11. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network. It's presented by Geico. Getting ready for the third quarter here on CBS Sports Network. The Bulls of Buffalo, 11-point advantage over Kent State. Welcome back inside the booth. Ed Cohen with Ross Tucker. We mentioned the implications of this game coming in. Winner in prime position in the MAC East, but little did we know Jaret Patterson again would start the record book conversation here against Kent State.
Well, we thought he'd have a big game, but not what he's been doing so far, as he has really led the way for the Bulls, who obviously have a huge advantage when it comes to the rushing yardage in this game. And you can see what Patterson's done at the bottom.
18 carries, 267 yards, 5 touchdowns. First rush of the game was for 62 yards alone.
Well, and 3 of them were of the long variety. That was just a stretch play to the right. Now it's a stretch play to the left. Does a nice job picking his hole. But on some of these, Ed, I mean, he wouldn't even be down in one-hand touch. He's not even getting touched on a couple of those long touchdown runs.
Now Patterson, touchdowns of 31, 42, and 49 yards, and a couple from 3 yards or less. And the Bulls an 11-point lead as we begin the third quarter of this one. And Kent State, team that leads the country, at least coming in, almost 53 points per game. Sean Lewis's squad have to come back as the guy's on the bike.
Man. I mean, he's got 267 yards and 5 touchdowns at halftime, and every time we show him, he's riding that bike. I don't know who manufactured that bike, but they're getting a ton of free publicity today.
Big advertisement.
Jaret Patterson staying on there.
McNulty missed his first field goal attempt of the season to close the first half. Tees it up, and we're underway in this third quarter in Buffalo, and it sails away for a touchback. Kent State out to the 25-yard line. We'll see what Dustin Crum can deliver. Certainly delivered at times in that opening half.
Well, think about it, right? I mean, Jaret Patterson has 250 yards rushing, and we're in a situation where if Kent State scores on this drive, it's a one-score game again. And they got stopped on 4th down at the end of the first half. They could have made it a one-score game right then. I mean, Kent State could have the chance right now to be going down and taking the lead.
From 15 of 21 in the opening half, one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the country. To the 25, Deshaun Polk in motion. Long ball from Crum, caught by McCoy with a flag on the play. He was grabbed, he was spun away, and he still makes the catch as Roy Baker was with him stride for stride, and McCoy delivers again for 45 yards on the first play in the third.
I think it's been a catch or interference every time they've thrown it deep to McCoy. I mean, they really should do it more often.
Pass interference, defense number 18. That penalty is declined. Result, 1st and 10.
And Kent State, as expected, wasting no time. Here's the give. Xavier Williams spinning and tripped up shy of the 20-yard line. Ross, you go back to a 75-yard touchdown last week for McCoy. That pass was behind him as well. Had to adjust a little bit. Does so again here. 2nd and 1. Take the give, throw to the end zone. Incomplete. Flag on the play once again. Try to challenge McCoy one-on-one. It could be a long afternoon. It's been a long series for Roy Baker.
Defense number 18, 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, listen, the UB defensive backs, they're not doing a great job turning around and getting their head on the football. That looked like interference again. I mean, it's been automatic so far. A couple of them might have been, you know, could go either way type of calls, but the last two looked like they were both pass interference to me.
1st and goal from the 6. Williams tripped up, trying to find some ground, and they have lost a yard. Brings up 2nd and goal for Kent State.
They really like the RPO game down here. Run pass option. Most people are familiar with that now, but I would expect Crum to put it in the belly of one of the backs and probably throw an in-breaking route if he doesn't take it with the run himself. He told us he reads somebody pretty much every play. Here it comes.
Gives to Williams. Xavier Williams reaching. Did he get in? Just short at the 1.
Take a look at it. No, he was down. Good call.
Right back to the line. The pitch. Williams, a little more real estate this time. Touchdown, Kent State, here on the first drive of the 3rd quarter. It's a 1-score game.
You know, the stance of Crum under center, his posture, I thought it was going to be quarterback sneak. You don't see him under, look, I thought that was quarterback sneak, but he wanted to push off that right leg to be able to get down the line and run the option. Very close pitch relationship right there, but a nice play call by Tom Kaufman, Sean Lewis, and the offensive coaching staff for Kent State.
Matthew Trickett for the extra point. Xavier
Little
Williams.
option pitch by Crum to Williams.
Took just 1:18 seconds. Xavier Williams from 1 yard out with the touchdown. 5 plays, 75 yards, helped by a couple of pass interference calls on Buffalo. Ron Cook back to receive for the Bulls. Will take over. First time here in the 3rd quarter. Matthew Trickett last year when these teams met. A comeback win for Kent State that really changed the course of their program. Nailed a 44-yard field goal to end it as time expired. And the wind is blowing the ball off the tee. Not surprising here in Western New York. Well, since that meeting, neither team has lost. Kent State's won 7 straight. Buffalo winners of 6 in a row. Bowl victories for both, and 0 for 2 on this setup. Now Ross, the vaunted Buffalo win strikes again.
And this isn't even that bad. I think it's like 10 to 15 mile an hour winds.
With the help of Polk. Shallow kick fielded by one of the up men. And out past the 35-yard line is a tight end, Molinich. Well, tomorrow, NFL on CBS doubleheader, including a key divisional battle between the Titans and Colts, followed by the marquee matchup, Mahomes and the Chiefs against Brady and the Bucks. All starts with the NFL Today at noon Eastern, Sunday on CBS. And not going to beat that matchup, Ross Tucker, Brady and Mahomes tomorrow.
No, I mean, that's amazing. The best quarterback over the last 20 years with a guy that looks like he's got a pretty good chance to be the best quarterback over the next 20 years.
Just 2 picks for Mahomes. Super Bowl champs. Bulls across the 40-yard line on first down. That's Patterson first half. Jared Patterson, 18 carries, 267, and he has outgained the entire Kent State team by quite a bit.
Well, there's a pretty good chance he'll have over 300 yards on this drive. You know, at the end of this drive. I don't think I've ever been in a football game that I've experienced anything like this.
Last Tuesday broke his own UB school record with 3:01 at Bowling Green. Goes the other way. Trevor Wilson sidesteps again. He's finally wrestled down at the 40-yard line. Good recovery for the tackle by the cornerback Elvis Hines.
Absolutely love that play call right there. Everything's going left. That's been the successful play for UB, the stretch. And you bring Wilson, who can really roll the other way. Nice job making people miss. And that'll even help Jaret Patterson even more, because they'll have to account for that. Slows it down just a little bit on those stretch plays.
Got 19 yards. And then Kent State 39. Tight end shifting over right up the gut as Patterson spun for an extra yard or two and brings up second down for Buffalo.
Well, it looks like they're doing a better job on Patterson so far, at least this quarter. I wonder if they even tell the guys at halftime how many yards he has. Probably not. They just focus on, here's what we can do to try to be better against the run on defense.
Now look at what they've done as a group. Over 300 now. And Kevin March has only attempted 4 carries. Late from 37. This is Patterson. No issues there, but a late flag. Marcus Fuqua was right there with him, but did he grab the mask?
Yeah, he got his face mask. The Kent State coaches were disputing it, but at first glance, it looked like a clear face mask. Let's take a look at it.
Personal foul, face masks, defense number 10. Penalized 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Yeah, you see the right hand of Clark right there, grabs it, pulls it. Yeah, I mean, that's a face mask. I don't know what the Kent State coaches are arguing about. That's a good job by the officials there.
Oh, Ross Patterson, 5 touchdowns already. The school record is 6. Of course, it was Patterson last year at Bowling Green. So the penalty moves him to the 20. And Treese on the move to the outside, broken up. Hines got there just as the ball did and knocked it away from Antonio Nunn.
It's a nice job by Hines on Nunn. UB trying to change it up, throw it on first down. Usually your best down to throw it. Nunn just drops it. I mean, the ball was maybe thrown a little bit behind him. I don't know if Nunn lost it in the sun or what, but he's got to catch that. And that actually gives Kent State a chance to make a stop here. You get a stop like that on first down, you get an incompletion. If they can hold UB, if UB does run it here to a couple-yard gain, try to get them in 3rd and long.
Over 800 combined yards between the two teams. Patterson with it. Patterson with a hole. Spins to the 10-yard line. Very close to the first down marker.
They're going to give it to him, I think. Wow. 2nd and 10, you run stretch zone to the right. Bad angle by the linebacker. Little spin at the end, and they power him forward to 1st and goal.
On a collision course with the record book. From the 10, here comes the corner blitz. Patterson up the gut. Patterson trying to push for a couple of more, and he does. Unbelievable how hard this guy is to bring down, all 5'9" of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's the point now where when Kent State holds him to a 3-yard gain, it feels like they stopped them for no gain or a loss of yardage. I mean, you're almost thinking great job by Kent State. He still got 3 yards.
Bowles with a 2nd and goal from the 7. Patterson again up the middle. He's in. Touchdown, Jaret Patterson. And he's matched his own school record. That's number 6. And the Bulls lead it here by 10 with 10 and change to go in the 3rd quarter.
This is unbelievable. And they're not anywhere near done yet. Just a little inside counter scheme, pulling Molinich around. And Jaret Patterson is having himself a day. 295 yards, 6 touchdowns with 10 minutes left in the third quarter.
Unreal. Nolte on for the extra point. It's good.
Good blocking at the point of attack. LaFave, the tight end, Molinitz, the other tight end, and Patterson knows exactly what to do.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage. For the personalized playbook on home loans, Rocket can. By Road. Don't weaken. And by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
We'll never forget the 2008 MAC championship in these parts. Only MAC title for Buffalo. 2008 won 42-24, and Naaman Roosevelt with 3 receiving touchdowns. That was before Lance Leipold and his staff got to Buffalo. But they brought in a young man named Jarrett Patterson, and boy, Ross Tucker, has he delivered 6 touchdowns already through 35 minutes of play.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I mean, Kent State's going to keep scoring. Kent State has that up-tempo offense. 297 yards they're giving him now. I mean, this has the potential to get preposterous if it's not already.
Now, Crumming the Golden Flashes into the sun. Running this drive to 25. Delayed give. The middle goes Marquez Cooper. Had a big game last week against Akron with 107 yards. Picks up a few here.
Kent State's going to keep doing what they do. They go with the up-tempo offense, which obviously is their best way to score, but also gives UB the chance to get back out on the field again soon, potentially.
Cooper met at the line. Extra push. Gives him a few more.
Nice job off the edge by Gaddafi right there. The outside linebacker for UB. Gives him a chance to get off the field here. 3rd and long. UB's going to substitute. Watch 31. Nice little swim move on the tight end. Tight ends typically aren't the greatest blockers, and Wright gets in the backfield. 3rd and long. Huge opportunity for UB to create some more separation in this game.
This will be spotted at their own 27.
Watch Coots, top of the screen. The Senior Bowl bound pass rusher.
Comes with pressure from the check down, completes it close to a first down. Is Jay-Sean Polk.
I think you got to go. I think you have to go here if you're Sean Lewis. Wow, they're going to punt it. Man, it's 4th and 1. You're down 11. You're having a very tough time to be kind, stopping the opposing team's running attack. This is the 3rd, 4th down situation. I'm a little surprised Sean Lewis wasn't more aggressive with.
Ian Hensey's on. Haven't needed him much this year. Just 6 punts first 3 games of the season. Anchors this one to Cook. We'll let it take a Kent State bounce. And it's down finally at the 16-yard line. 8:07 left, 3rd quarter. Bowles riding this man's back. He's punched it in 6 times already. Buffalo on top of Kent State in this battle of unbeatens. Time for today's Geico Difference Makers. And for the Golden Flashes, it's their quarterback, Dustin Crum.
Imagine having those kind of numbers and being down by 2 scores, and the other team has the ball. And this is the big reason why. Jarrett Patterson, and we got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line. I mean, we've been talking a lot about Patterson, but on some of these, the holes have been huge, especially some of the big runs he's had. So well blocked.
Now they'll turn to Kevin Marks to begin this drive. Marks number 5 in blue, and out to the 20-yard line. Carpenter among those to get to him for Kent State.
This is how they like to do it. They like to give Marks a series. Look at Marks' arms. The guy is put together. They like to give Marks a series every once in a while.
Now, Patterson has likened Marks to that home run hitter. Now, Patterson's also went big number of times here today, sitting on 297 yards. 2nd and 6. Take the give to Marks over the middle, knocked away, incomplete. Clark got there and plucked it loose. Incompletion for Ruiz.
Really nice play there by Dean Clark, the sophomore safety from Massillon, Ohio, not too far from Kent State. They play a lot of 3 safety looks, and they really like him. He's got a bright future.
Now, Ross, Buffalo 4 of 6 on 3rd down here today.
It's a big play in this game real right now.
On the 20, Ruiz, the man in motion for the Bulls. Vantrease for Ruiz. Hand catch taken down close to the marker. And Shalom stepping up saying he did not get there. Let's see.
Oh, no, he got it. He got it easily. Never listen to the defenders, Ed. They're the same ones that say that they never, ever interfere. Ruiz got it. It was a good spot by the officials. That's a big conversion for Buffalo. Up 11, not having a 3 and out where you get it right back to Kent State gives them a chance to maybe eat up some clock as they keep running on this drive.
Stick with Marks. From the 26. Take the give, slant behind Ruiz this time, and incomplete. He's been the big target for Vantrease over the course of this game. Giovanni Ruiz, who entered play with 4 catches on the season.
I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like it was just a poor throw by Vantrease on the slant to Ruiz. Now, a lot of times teams will run it here on 2nd down because they want to try to get 3rd and manageable. You have an incompletion on 1st down. A lot of times you run it on 2nd to try to get 3rd and manageable.
On the 26. There's Patterson. Dives forward, and let's see how much he picked up. He came into that play sitting on 297.
That was
Picks up
well
2.
blocked. Yeah, he's actually a little frustrated with himself. I think he thought he should have gotten more yards there. The one thing it does jump out, this is just a little power scheme. There was an unblocked defender. He made 2 guys miss. He never lets you get a clean shot on him. Never.
It comes in for that one play, and now it's Marks lined up. And in motion's none. Vantrease with time over the middle, into double coverage, finds none. Oh, beautiful pass. And a 1st down into Kent State territory for Nunn and Buffalo.
Yeah, that's a confident throw by Kyle Vantrease right down the seam. Nunn's to the left. Vantrease looks the safety to the right, comes back to the left, throws it right over the linebacker's outstretched hand. Look at that. Oh, that is perfect by Vantrease. His best throw of the night.
28-yard reception. Those are 2 guys been at this for a long time together. The fade, the tight end in motion, and the pass off to his right hand, and incomplete.
They have not had as much success as you would expect on their 1st down passes. They're such a run-heavy team that 1st down passes should be your best time to get big chunks in the passing game. They haven't hit on very many of them. It's been a bunch of 2nd and 10s.
Well, Vance Leipold's team, you don't find offenses like this every day nowadays. 2 tight ends, featuring 2 running backs. Here's one of the tight ends in motion. That's Jake Molinich. He's from Pittsford near Rochester. Gives to Marks on that right side. And Marks picks up a couple here on 2nd down.
Yeah, and Molinich had a key block at the point of attack there. They like using both those tight ends to move around and what they call changing the surface, changing the edge. The whole idea is to try to get Kent State to miss a gap and or to get guys having to make tackles that are the worst tacklers on the team, the secondary typically.
We talked to Andy Kotelnicki, their offensive coordinator. Molinich, old school football player. Love guys like that. Here's a toss. Marks up the gut. Marks first down and more. Bouncing to the outside and dragged out near the sideline after a big gain of 18 yards.
It's just going to be a quick toss to Marks. Again, Molinich does a good job. Marks cuts it back. I love the way UB's receivers block down field. They really get it. They understand how important that is to the running game, how important that is to winning. This is an impressive drive by UB. Gives them a chance to go up by 3 scores and really put some separation between them and the Golden Flashes.
It's been Marks for much of this drive. Patterson carried it once. Patterson in. Marks set the block for him. Patterson dancing with it into the line, and he is stuffed.
I think he lost a yard. It's the first time I think that's happened. Jarrett Patterson actually went backwards. Now he's at 298 yards. He was at 299.
He is trying to break his own school record in back-to-back weeks. He's coming for a play here, a play there on this drive. Now it's Marks on 2nd and 11. Bulls at the Kent State 23. Stick with the ground game. Marks dragged down at the 20. On the tackles, Tony Butler, who began his collegiate career at Nebraska.
The other thing they're doing here, Ed, is they are really taking a lot of time off the clock on this drive. It just keeps spinning. They got a great chance to go up by 3 scores with very little time left in the 3rd quarter.
Sean Lewis, Kent State head coach, he said when you play UB, you feel it after you play them. Expected a physical game. It's added up to 500-plus yards for the Bulls already. Marks, single back, and taken down at around the 15-yard line by number 0, shouldn't say number 0, by Zayn West, wearing 0.
You know, Marks would start for a bunch of teams in college football. I mean, he would start for a decent amount of FBS teams. I give him a lot of credit for staying there as well. You know, he much like these quarterbacks, they all could have elected to go into the transfer portal. Marks is from Norfolk, Virginia. He could say, you know what, I'm going to go in the transfer portal. But no, he wanted to stay here, and he's made the most of his carries for sure.
Going for it on 4th and 2. Van Treese to the end zone, off the hand of none, but a flag just sitting there in the end zone. And was there contact on the part of Butler for Kent State?
Holding, defense number 24, penalized half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Been a lot of grabby defensive backs in this game, and I really like the decision of Lance Leipold to go for it there. Leipold being more aggressive in this game than Lewis has been. But I think he realizes even if you make the field goal, you're still only up 2 scores, 14 points. Watch the top of your screen right there. Yep, you can see the hold there. That's a good job by the officials. Absolutely. Tony Butler was hanging on.
And moving half the distance to 7. 1st and goal. Marks spins, but can't break away. West again in on the tackle for the Golden Flashes. Zayn West, first player to wear 0 for Kent State. Obviously first year in college football. Players allowed to wear 0.
The 0 is a cool look. It definitely makes you look bigger, though. Depending on who you are, whether you want that or not.
And he is 6'1", 272. Nice snap. Marks again up the middle. He's in, standing up. 2nd touchdown this year for Kevin Marks. The running of the Bulls here against Kent State late in the 3rd quarter. They lead it 48-31.
Yeah, you'll see. It's just watch Molinich comes in. It's inside zone, split zone. Molinich didn't even have anybody to block. Wow. It's a little too easy there for Kevin Marks and UB. You got to be happy for him. I mean, he is a terrific running back in his own right, gets his second touchdown. I mean, Marks is 64th in the country with 77 yards per game as the backup running back.
What an embarrassment of riches for the Buffalo staff. McNulty, another extra point, and it's good. They put up 49 points, Ross Tucker, between Marks and Patterson.
Offside, defense number 14. That penalty is declined. Try for point is good.
Oh, so much at stake entering this game. Bulls have been up to the challenge. They're in the driver's seat against Kent State. Let's take a look at our rogue pound for pound. And yes, the Bulls anchored by a terrific offensive line.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Jarrett Patterson's been awesome, but look at some of the blocking he's gotten on some of these runs. He's not touched again. I mean, these are multiple long touchdown runs where he's not even touched. They've got an excellent unit in front of him, and finally they just got Kevin Marks his first touchdown of the day.
Look at what they've done on the ground, and you also factor in what this group has done in blocking for Kyle Van Treese. He has not been sacked in 7 games entering this one. There's Fielding.
Wow.
In play, had to come out of the end zone, spins up and tackle. Now poked up the sideline. Did he step out? No, he's still going, tripped up, and finally he is down. We'll see if he stepped out of bounds. There's a flag on the play, but for now he's across the 45 of Buffalo.
That went from being a horrible decision to a great decision to now, I'm guessing, a bad decision again, because they would have gotten the ball to 25 if he just took a knee. And how about the kicker, McNulty, tripping him up there?
Holding number 10 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Look at that hit he took and just kept going. Polk is fun to watch. Watch the kicker, right? McNulty just gets enough of him. You know, even though it wouldn't have ended up counting, McNulty's getting a lot of love over there. Kickers, they all got their jackets on.
Well, the last line of defense comes through. And now Kent State turns to this guy, Dustin Crum.
Now they got to get a lot of points, and they got to do it in a hurry. They got about 16 minutes.
Takes the give, look over the middle, McCoy makes the catch, spins away, close to a first down, taken down at the 20-yard line. That was Logic Hudgens, the freshman for Buffalo.
I would expect to see Kent State go deep to McCoy. It's the bottom of your screen. There is safety help over the top there, though.
Crum once again, the pass to the left side this time. And look how fast they're going, Ross Tucker.
Well, sooner rather than later, they're going to go to McCoy again on a deep shot. It's been their best offense of the day. He's either caught it or gotten interfered with.
Picked up 7 on the last play. On the 27. Intercepted. Finally brought in. Oh, Crum looking over the middle, and it's picked off by Gross with 22 seconds left in the third. Crum just his 3rd interception here this season.
Gigantic play by UB. I mean, they're already up 18. It's an RPO. Watch him. He's going to put the ball in the belly of the running back. The guy he's reading, he thinks it's open. And what a great design by UB to bring Gross all the way from the other side. They fooled him. They tricked Crum. He never saw him coming. That is a good job by Brian Borland and the UB coaching staff. Interesting to see Marks back in the game again.
And Patterson 3 yards away from matching his record from last week. And this is Marks turning it up the side. He's got it out of bounds. Picks up the first down shy of the 20. Now Crum so efficient. Look at the last 2 years. That's now 4 picks total for Dustin Crum.
UB's going to take this to the 4th quarter, as they should. They're fired up.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
Patterson into the end zone 6 times. Marks has gotten there as well. It's been quite a show on the ground for the Bulls. They lead it after 3 on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. Seven rushing touchdowns for Buffalo after a 21-point outburst to start the game, consistent over the last 2 periods. And this game means quite a bit for both sides. Number one, they'd still be undefeated. Number two, with 2 games left after this week, Ross, in the driver's seat, controlling their own destiny for a spot in the MAC championship game.
Absolutely, and if you can see the other opponents, they'd also be, favored in those games for the last 2. So this is the key game. They'll have to finish it the next 2 weeks, but UB is well on their way at this point to another trip back to Detroit. They were there a couple years ago.
Lost in 2018, the epic comeback from Northern Illinois. And Buffalo finishing at Ohio next week and then home against Akron. Kent State will have Miami. He'll be on the road for that one. And then against the Bobcats of Ohio to close it out December 12th. MAC championship slated for Detroit on December 19th. These guys, first 3-0 start for Kent State since 1958. They won the wagon wheel last week against Akron. Next step in their program is to make it to Motown. Start of the 4th quarter for the Kent State 24, a 1st and 10 for Buffalo. And a flag on the play and movement from the offensive line.
False start. Offense number 73. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Coyote Awohika.
Yeah, you see him, the left tackle, 70. Yeah, just leaning forward a little bit. Such a bad feeling. You're trying to sit there. Coyote Awohika is a pro prospect himself. One of the top-ranked pro prospects in the MAC, projected to move inside the guard.
Kevin Marks on the handoff to the 25.
This is rare to see UB go with Marks on back-to-back drives. So you wonder if they just want to keep Patterson fresh. They don't want to give him the chance to get hurt here down the stretch of this game, or they don't want to run up the stats for Patterson against Kent State, because Patterson is right on the precipice of breaking both his yardage and his touchdown record.
Crum looking on, hoping his defense get a stop here. Marks again, cut it back up the middle. And Marks met just shy of the 20 by Dean Clark. Will bring up a 3rd down here for Buffalo.
Patterson comes back in the game. Now, I don't think we'll see UB throw the ball a ton more in this game. They're going to try as much as they can to keep pounding the rock, keep that clock moving. They've got an 18-point lead. I wouldn't even be surprised if they run it here.
Remember, Patterson sitting on 298 yards. He's 3 away from his own school record set last week. And he has 6 touchdowns. And a 3rd and 6. It's Patterson, cuts it back. Patterson, he's got the rushing record, and he's across the 10-yard line as the Bulls get another big run from their star junior.
Well, he's got the school and MAC rushing record here. Look at that vision. Just cuts it back. You know, he told me yesterday he can power clean 365 pounds. That is from the floor. And we're not talking about a hang clean. We are talking about a power clean. 305 yards. And I think they want to get him touchdown number 7, too.
Unreal. Here he is again. And Patterson picks up a couple. As Kent State going to strip him to no avail. But 5'9", he's worn that throughout his life and trying to prove people wrong. And hey, by next April or May, you don't know if the NFL is going to come calling for him.
Well, and who cares about running back height anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, there's been so many good ones over the years that it doesn't really seem to be something that hurts you at that position.
Mullen shifts. Patterson takes the handoff, and he's in. Jarrett Patterson, how about lucky number 7? It's a new Buffalo record. He breaks another one of his own marks. Incredible stuff from Jarrett Patterson.
Stop me if you've heard this one before. It's stretch zone to the left, everybody moving horizontally. Patterson knows exactly where to cut it up inside. 7 touchdowns, over 310 yards, 319 to be exact. And by the way, there's still a lot of time left in this game. And what a fitting tribute while wearing the number 41 as well.
It's won by a different bull every week. Nolte's extra point is true in honor of the late Solomon Jackson.
Jarrett Patterson right down Main Street, making history here at Buffalo.
Another record-setting day here for the Buffalo program, courtesy of Jarrett Patterson, and they have taken command of this ever-important game for first place in the MAC East with 8 rushing touchdowns here today. And we have a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean 12-27, and they got a decent chance at this rate of topping that Kent State record back in 1954, and be interested to see how high Patterson can go. I don't know how many more carries Lance Leipold will give him, but he could have his eyes set on Samaje Perine, who has the Division I record of 427.
This is brought out past the 35-yard line by Holmes. Well, tonight at 7, our college football slate continues with a showdown in the AAC. Memphis heading to Annapolis to take on Navy. Catch it all right here on CBS Sports Network. First player to post back-to-back 300-yard rushing games since Ricky Williams did it in 1996. Borland, the power back for Kent State. You're getting in the conversation with a guy who's a Heisman winner from that great time at Texas in the 90s. You know you're doing something right if you're Jarrett Patterson.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. 1996, I didn't remember Ricky Williams going over 300 yards 2 games in a row, but that is elite company.
Dustin Crum over the top, complete. A big touchdown-saving tackle from behind by Buffalo's Marcus Fuqua.
And that's what drives you absolutely crazy if you're a coach. I mean, that's the only thing you can't do right now. Let them throw the ball deep down the field over your heads. Keep them in front of you. You're up by 25 points with 12 minutes left. Don't let them throw the ball over your head.
Oh, still 44-yard reception. Crum, he's dragged down. That was Tyree Thompson. Let's go back to the long reception.
Yeah, they're in the slide. Safety comes up and tries to get hands on him. Marcus Fuqua. That's a mismatch.
A little more than met at the 10-yard line. He's taken down by Tim Terry.
Let's not forget that it was 27-6. Under 8 minutes left last year between these two teams. Kent State had the biggest comeback in FCS football in 2019 against these same Buffalo Bulls.
History repeats itself. Crum escapes the tackle from Thompson. Can't escape that one. E.J. Brown with the closeout will bring up 2nd and goal. And just think, neither team has lost, Ross, since that epic comeback on November 14th of last year. And it changed everything, especially for Kent State.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking like 370-some days, 380 days.
From the 11, the slant pass caught into the end zone. Dante Cephas, his first career touchdown, and Kent State quickly moving downfield. See if they negate it. There's a flag on the play.
Late penalty. He's going to look to the left
Ineligible
side.
receiver downfield. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
We talked about it earlier. That's going to go against Adam Gregory, the left guard, 6'6", 332. Watch him. Left guard, he's double teaming, going up. You know, they usually let you do that, but they see it. He's downfield. You're only allowed to be 3 yards downfield unless you're engaged with somebody, but he went up for the linebacker. Crum needs to get rid of that ball faster.
Also, penalty. Trying to get a couple of yards back is Marquez Cooper up the middle, but we talked about it. That's the second time that Gregory has been called for being an ineligible man.
Well, it just seems like there's so much discretion for officials. You know, you look at different conferences, different programs, different games. Sometimes you see guys look at their 5 or 6 yards downfield in those RPOs, they don't call it.
Crum keeps it, throws over the middle, and a massive hit. Bringing out a penalty flag, E.J. Brown just crushed Polk, who thankfully is right back up on his feet. There you go over the middle. That's what could happen.
Well, and this will probably be something they take a look at because Polk was in a defenseless posture there.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 54. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Man, I assumed they got Nate Nonnan in the right guard. I assumed it was a unnecessary roughness penalty. Let's watch. I'm watching the hit. You know what? Looks like it was shoulder in the chest there from that angle. Monin was absolutely downfield again. I think that was a clean hit by E.J. Brown at first glance there. Probably 2 downs to get a touchdown here.
They're still 3rd and goal as they're pushed to the 18, to the end zone, off the hands of McCoy, and batted away, incomplete, nudged finally by Hill to the turf.
And now they're going to kick a field goal. All right, so Crum goes, I think it's a nice throw. Maybe a little bit behind McCoy, who, as he was going to catch it off the ricochet, took a shot there from Hill.
So bring on Matthew Trickett.
Down 25, so a field goal does make it a 3-score game. Right now it's a 4-score game.
5 yards out. And Trickett is good. 56-34, lead is 22 for Buffalo. Knocking on the door of first place in the Eastern Division.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Tums. Goes to work in seconds for fast heartburn relief. By Tostitos. Get to the good stuff. And by Trulicity.
Well, Thanksgiving certainly different here in 2020. Kent State, Buffalo celebrating as much as they could. A lot of to-go boxes for the group here this year, but nonetheless, happy Thanksgiving. Hope it was a great holiday for all of you watching. Great to be with you a couple of days after here in Buffalo, New York. They go short off the kickoff, and Antonio Nunn, not fooled for the Bulls. They'll take over with a 56-34 advantage.
I think that was supposed to be a surprise onside or some kind of onside kick, but he just kicked it way too far for them to have a realistic chance to actually recover it.
Not the same results as Trickett last year in this meeting. The onside kick changed everything in that comeback.
Patterson's out there, so he's got a chance to rack up some more.
He's sitting on 319, 7 touchdowns, both breaking his own school records. Here's Patterson, tried to slip an arm tackle, and not much doing there for the junior from Glendale, Maryland.
Told us, second FBS player in the last 25 years with 300 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns.
Wow.
He told us, growing up 15 minutes away from FedEx Field, he is a fan of the Washington football team. Kind of cool for him to see a rookie running back from the group of 5 like Antonio Gibson having the success that he is for Washington.
Andy yard the last play. And the 35, a 2nd and 9. As Patterson once again escapes a tackle. And that little extra push gives him a few more yards out past the 40. You know, Buffalo, if you add up Patterson and then going further back, Starks and Brandon Oliver, they've had a lot of success with running backs. And Lance Leipold, who's a grad assistant at Wisconsin, he said, I learned from Barry Alvarez, in places like Buffalo with cold weather, you need to be able to run the football and you have to play great defense to win.
Yeah, Leipold was a grad assistant for Alvarez. Watch this. They'll go up real quick so that you can't see how they're lined up, and then snap it.
Patterson again on his feet, past midfield, and off to the races. Jaret Patterson, how about touchdown number 8? And maybe the toughest one of all for 65 yards.
Are you kidding me? I mean, I thought he was going down. Watch. They all quick to the line of scrimmage. You don't see how they're lining up. Snap it quick. I thought he was getting tackled, Ed. Right there, there's 2 guys. He stays on his feet, and another house call for Jaret Patterson. We're seeing history right now with every single carry that young man gets. Look at him. He's mean-mugging him, too. He's got that look on his face. He is a man possessed. That might have been his best run of the day.
He began the day on the first play from scrimmage, 62 yards. He's now sitting on 385. On a pilgrimage to history in Buffalo. Time now to get to the good stuff, brought to you by Tostitos. Ross Tucker, how much would you love to block for this guy?
Are you kidding me? I mean, that might have been his best run of the day. It's not often you can say a guy's best run of the day is on his 8th touchdown run, but I'm going to say it because I'll never get a chance to say it again the rest of my life. That was unbelievable. He ran over 2 linebackers right there for Kent State.
Kent State, not a bad rushing team in their own regard. Patterson has wiped him off the field.
Hey, he's got a chance at the Division I record. It's 427 yards by Samaje Perine back in November of 2014 against Kansas.
This is Polk out to the 30-yard line for Kent State. Well, he has the MAC record, 385 yards, passing Robbie Mixon from Central Michigan. Put up 377 in a game back in 2002. Maction is taking on new meeting in Buffalo today. And on the other side, Kent State was rolling. It has not been the case this afternoon for Crum and company. Down big here with 7:38 to go. Crum, chase, throws, and overshoots his man McCoy. There's a flag on the far side.
I don't think I've ever seen a guy draw as many penalties in one game as Isaiah McCoy. I mean, we're seeing history all the time.
Before the ball was thrown, holding defense number 35, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Watch McCoy being jammed in the line. It's a good call. I mean, they're hanging on to his arm. It's interesting that they keep going bump and run. You know, they're up by 29 points, and they're going bump and run on their deep threat.
From flushed, throws, and right to Polk, who's escorted out by Isaiah King to move the sticks for Kent State. Total offense, number 2 in the country coming in for the team. Runs the flash fast offense. Here's Crum again off the play fake. Going deep one more time, and this time even Holden wouldn't have stopped McCoy.
Well, Hill, the safety, wasn't looking for the ball there. If he was, he could have had an easy interception. And that was well overthrown by Dustin Crum there. And Hill, if he was just playing center field, would have caught it, but he was looking at McCoy instead of the ball.
Tyrone Hill out of Don Bosco Prep, legendary program in Bergen County, New Jersey. Played for the great Greg Toll. Second and 10 for Kent State for the 50. Well, Tuckett run, tracked down from behind by Gaddafi Wright. Now, Wright was one of the guys who scored a defensive touchdown. They had 3 in their opener against Northern Illinois. Message said, don't sleep on this Buffalo defense.
And there's still 7 minutes left, but it's been a pretty good job by UB defensively. It really has. There's Wright. Right on time. Wright is right on time after you're just talking about him. One-on-one tackle right in the middle of the field on Crum. Crum couldn't shake him. Boom.
Here's the give. Marquez Cooper. And he's wrapped up. You know, Buffalo's unique this day and age, and you knew physicality would be a big part in this game. How has Buffalo been able to seize control, at least in the trenches, in this one today?
Yeah, well, they talked about blocking and tackling, and they definitely do both those things better than Kent State does, that's for sure.
Here's Cooper again. He's close to the first down marker with under 6 to play here in Buffalo. Look at Lance Leipold.
What a job, I'm sorry, Ed. What a job he's done here at UB. They have as many wins, 26, as anybody in the MAC since going back to 2017. Them in Ohio.
Coots closed it out. And Crum is finally wrestled down by big fella Eric Black, number 94. That speaks to what the Mid-American Conference is. Buffalo most wins since 2017 with Ohio Knights won the title in Detroit. This incomplete intended for Isaac Vance. And it's different this year with the shortened season, no out-of-conference play, 6 games, and certainly put a premium on this one for both squads. Lance Leipold's Bulls in the driver's seat with 5:27 to go. From the give, and it's Cooper once again out past the 20-yard line here for Kent State.
He's close, but a little short. They're going to go for it. Although I say that, there's been several other times I thought Sean Lewis would go for it, and he hasn't. But here they're definitely going to go for it for obvious reasons.
Crum keeps, throws.
Wow.
What a catch for the touchdown. Wow, indeed. Keishan Abram into the end zone, and Kent State puts up 6 with under 5 left.
I mean, nobody likes throwing it on 4th down more than Kent State. He pulls it. I want to try to throw it. It's actually well covered. I can't believe Hill wasn't able to make that play on the football. What a catch, left hand by Abram. He's like their 4th receiver. Unreal, the plays that have been made in this game today.
Keishan Abram putting his stamp on this one late. The senior from Mississippi. How about his first touchdown with the Golden Flashes? That's as good as it gets. Let's take a look at our top 25 scoreboard, brought to you by Tums. Notre Dame a winner yesterday. Oregon State with the upset. Ross Tucker later today on CBS. Auburn and Alabama have to get going in Tuscaloosa.
Always a great one, the Iron Bowl. Pitt Clemson a good one as well, but Auburn, Alabama. I know Alabama's been dominant so far this year. Let's see if Kent State can get this onside kick. Maybe they're going to try to come the other way.
It looked like
You'd be
ahead of the line.
timeout, I think.
Before the ball was kicked, charge timeout. Buffalo, they're first of the half.
So, right before Kent State was about to kick that ball, Lance Leipold calls timeout to make sure his guys are ready for what they're looking to do on an onside kick. But you got to think Kent State's just going to change their onside kick now. So I don't know that there's a ton of value in that, because now Kent State will just do a different onside kick that might be better than the one they were going to try right there.
Now you look at the score, and if you're not familiar with these two teams, 63-41. Oh, it's a 22-point game, but I talked about it earlier. Lance Leipold remembers what happened last year. He said that was on us as a staff. Kent State down 21 in the fourth quarter, came back to win.
He said it was a very regrettable 8 minutes of football.
Didn't recognize the degree to which the momentum had turned.
Are they doing the same thing?
Try it again.
Guess who?
No dice.
Guess who, by the way?
Mr.
Are you
Patterson.
kidding me? Are you kidding me? The guy who recovers onside kicks?
Well, let's go through all 8, tying an FBS record touchdowns in a game.
1, 2. This was a little bit of a longer one. One of his long ones on the day, number 3. Number 4 was another long one. Good block in front by Molinich. Wilson, the receiver, Nunn, the other receiver. 5, he was dipping, dodging. 6, he went through. 7 was pretty easy, and 8 might have been most impressive. Look, right there, bounces off of 2 linebackers and just keeps those legs churning, and he's still in the game. We got a shot at this thing.
No one scored 9 touchdowns on the ground in FBS history. Patterson looking for an opening. Won't get it here to the 41-yard line. And before that attempt, 385 yards. You've been all over it, Ross. The record, 427.
Right, so he's 42 yards short of the record. They've got 44 yards they could possibly get on this drive. So if UB gives the ball to Patterson on this entire drive and he scores a touchdown, he'll break every record there ever was. Touchdowns, yards, all of them. Let's see if he can do it. This is history.
2nd down and 8. It goes to him. Patterson, the cutback. Patterson still going. Stiff arm, spins. He was in bounds that whole time.
Look at him trying to stay in bounds to keep the clock going. Jarrett, we're going for the record now at this point, bro. Get out of bounds. We need to save that clock. Look at this. Breaks a tackle. He's fighting for that. He literally is stiff-arming the guy to try to enable himself to go down in bounds. He's up to 396 now, so I'm feeling pretty darn good about 400 yards.
1st and 10 from the 32. Buffalo's got this one. Can Patterson make more history?
Uh-oh, Van Treese just called an audible. Hope it's not a pass. Come on, Van Treese, get with the program.
It's Patterson. Avoids his own lineman. Patterson shakes, spins. It's so much fun to watch. Maybe if you're not Kent State, incredible.
Watch, this is a stretch to the left. The center falls down. The right guard falls down. Doesn't matter. Patterson still makes guys. Look at how bad he makes some guys look in space. Nobody ever gets a clean shot at him. I mean, he makes really good defensive players look bad often.
He's crossed 400.
405. He needs 23 yards and a touchdown to break both records.
Who else? Patterson feels the hole, moves it, and a 1st down with 2:39 to go.
They're on the 23-yard line, so it looks like he's going to need every single one of these yards. No, no, what are you doing, Lance Leipold? Don't do this to me.
Oh,
Lance, no! Somebody tell him, we have a chance in history. Stop hugging him and put him back in the game. I'm trying to go viral.
they got him to 400.
Oh my gosh. No, we need another touchdown and we need to break Samaje Perine's record. What is happening right now?
Oh, it's Marks with the dive. to the 15-yard line. Nonetheless,
we can still do this. You got to put Patterson back in, tell one of the offensive linemen to hold on the next play. So we go back 10 yards. We can still make this happen together.
is anybody listening on that Buffalo sideline?
Oh my gosh. I wanted the 9 touchdowns in the record. I'd tell people forever, the rest of my life, I was at this game.
You'd block for him if you could, right this second.
Of course. No, I would go in and get a holding penalty so he can get more yards.
It's Marks. He's got 1 touchdown.
Oh
He's got
my gosh.
another. 1:16 to go. If you're a Buffalo fan, your team might hit 70 with the extra point, but that man sitting on 8 at ties the record.
That could have been us. Watch. It's stretched to the left. It's well blocked. Marks is a stud backup running back. But that could have been our waltz into history, Ed Cohen. You and me.
I would have bought him Duff's for life. The best wings in Buffalo.
I had unbelievable wings, by the way, last night. Oh, my gosh.
This for 70 points. It's a McNulty, and it's good. Well, he teased us, Lance Leipold, as Patterson took every handoff to begin the drive. The math, if he had gained every yard, would have worked. But they take him out after crossing 400. Not a bad finish to the day as he ties the record, 8 touchdowns, and Marks punching it in, the 10th on the ground for Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, and it was an easy touchdown. Look at Marks. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I think UB wanted to get him the 400 yards when they knew he was at 380. But that could have been our run to history, Ed. Me and you. Everybody watching CBS Sports Network right now. Forget everything I said about Lance Leipold earlier. Questionable decision-making by him. No, I'm just kidding. 70 points. Unreal.
Well, we came in and we were talking in the days coming into this game, hey, would they break 100? Both teams did.
Second all-time. 18 yards away. He would have gotten the yards and the touchdown.
Now Buffalo making a statement
Oh,
here today.
oh,
Ball's
fumble,
loose,
ball's out.
knocked away. King couldn't snatch it up. Oh, Glass, right spot, right time. Robbie Glass, the freshman. Just when you thought this game couldn't give us anything else.
We almost had a second shot at infamy right there. We almost had a second chance. Oh my gosh, watch this. Gaddafi Wright's in there. They pull it out right there. Good job. Oh, he had it. I don't know that they would have put Patterson in right there, but we had another shot at glory.
Brendan Pine would have been your personal hero.
Brendan Pine is, I love Brendan Pine. Went to Brown. Great football family, grad transfer.
Oh, this one gets away, it's loose.
Oh my goodness.
Backup quarterback Colin Schlee running a fire drill in the final minute. And again, nearly giving the ball back to Buffalo.
Oh man, this has been an entertaining game. Drops the snap, bobbles it again, and watch this move right here. Little flick of the wrist there.
Now Buffalo on a collision course to a spot in Detroit in a couple of weeks. As Schlee tucks it, gets past the 30. He's held up by Wright and Miller. But we'll never forget the day from Jared Patterson. I mean, you think about what he's done to Bowling Green the last couple of years, and then you throw this game in there. Quick out, and the pass incomplete. He carried it 36 times, 409, and 8 touchdowns, and nearly had a chance at more.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. I mean, it's an unbelievable day, but I'm still a little upset that they didn't keep him in. So we could have gotten both those records. 9 touchdowns and the yard. I got to get over it.
Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, if you mention Ricky Williams, and Howard Griffith actually tweeted out saying, hey, Kent State, stop him. I like my 8-touchdown record. Samaje Perine. If you mention all those guys in one broadcast, you know you've done something right. J.R. Patterson's done that today. Final 38 seconds. Up the gut. And Joshim Bangda is tripped up for the Golden Flashes, who will fall to 3-1. First loss for Kent State since middle of last year. They had won 7 in a row. And Buffalo on the verge of a 4-0 start. Deep ball. Schlee, wide open. Cephas dropped it. Here in the closing moments, coming out of the sun of the shadows here with 16 seconds to go.
And you know, I wonder what's the very tail end of this. Sometimes these are the hardest ones to catch. He had to contort his body around a little bit. Just not able to corral it. You see the guys behind him. 4th and 5.
Charge timeout, Kent State. Their first of the half, 30 seconds.
You know I was having some fun there with Lance Leipold, but I'm thinking he probably didn't really know. He probably knew he wanted to get him 400 yards. Somebody probably said, hey, coach, Jarrett's 11 yards away from 400, so he probably wanted to get him the 400. But my guess is he didn't know about the 9 touchdowns or didn't know about breaking Samaje Perine's record. You know, and because the thing is that you want to talk about when you're building the program in a group of 5 program, it'll already be on all the highlights and all the news shows, but you know, then you get people talking about Buffalo football all the time. I mean, anytime a guy has a bunch of touchdowns, anytime a guy has a bunch of yards, they'd be talking about Buffalo football.
No, Khalil Mack enhanced the conversation with Patterson, just the next greatest Buffalo running back. What a year here in 2020. Cook will take the fair catch here with 9 seconds to go. Now the Buffalo Bulls. Impressive plan, impressive performance, and hey, Patterson 62 yards first play from scrimmage. That was only the beginning.
Ed, are you thinking what I'm thinking right now? I'm thinking they can hand the ball to Jarrett Patterson for one more play. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to take a knee. But that's what I'm thinking.
I think Van Treese has them in a kneel formation, and that will do it. But in many ways, Ross Tucker, we did see history today. That man had about 8 touchdowns. He has tied an FBS record with 409 rushing yards as well. Number 2 all-time, Jarrett Patterson, as good as it gets.
Congratulations if you had Jarrett Patterson on your fantasy football team.
You win.
I don't know if people play college fantasy football anymore, but if you did, you win. Unbelievable performance.
For perspective, he had 301 last week, broke his own record, 409 today. Big picture, Buffalo controls its own destiny in the MAC East. They've got a 1-game lead on Kent State, 2 games to play. The magic number is 1 for the Bulls, trying to get back to Detroit, and the MAC championship slated for December 19th. Jarrett Patterson, incredible. We'll hear from the star of today's game and the star in the country when we come back. It's a final in Buffalo. The Bulls, a school record 70 points, 70-41 win over Kent State. We're joined by the star of today's game, Jarrett Patterson. It's Ed and Ross in the booth. Jarrett, hey, you rushed for 409 yards, 8 touchdowns. What can you say about just a magical day here this afternoon?
I mean, I got to give credit to the big guys up front. You know, they do a tremendous job opening big holes for me and Kevin Marks. You know, so man, hats off to those guys. You know, this was a team win. You know, offense, defense. We knew that Kent State had a high-power offense, and we knew it was going to take all 4 quarters. And we just played to the last whistle. You know, we needed to play until 4th quarter we hit 0.
Jarrett, love you giving some love to the big guys. I knew you would do that. You heard the numbers from Ed there. Did you know? Did anybody tell you on the sideline what kind of numbers you were racking up? Could you tell you were that close to history?
Nobody really told me, not until probably the 6-1, and I was just really running, keep running. I knew we needed more touchdowns, to keep us in our league because we know Kent State has a fast-paced offense. They score a lot of points. My mind was, if they offense has to score, and I just took it in my own hands just to, take over this game.
All right, so do you know, Jared, I have to ask you this. Do you know that if Coach had left you in for that last touchdown run that Kevin got, that you would have broken the FBS records for both yards in a game and touchdowns in a game?
Yeah, they told me about the touchdowns. I didn't know about the yards, but I just was trying to just run out the clock, so we can go in the locker room and celebrate, with everybody. I'm not really too pressed over the records. I know they will come, take everybody. I just wanted to win.
Jarrett, you guys did win here today, and you exploded. Why did it work here this afternoon against Kent State? Because you knew it was at stake in terms of trying to get to first place.
Really, we trusted the coach's game plan, stuck to our game plan, and just executed. We knew that we had to play all 4 quarters and just finish.
Ross, stoic as expected. Jarrett Patterson, what a performance. Congratulations on the win. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Steady to the end.
He is one impressive young man in every way. I mean, how about him? The first thing he does is give credit to the offensive line, gives credit and mentions the other running back, Kevin Marks Jr. Just an incredible, incredible day for Jarrett Patterson and UB football.
Oh, maybe he wasn't worthy. It was his world here this afternoon. Final numbers, the Buffalo Bulls accounting for 10 touchdowns on the ground. Patterson with 8. He's matched the FBS record. Final score, 70-41, the Bulls over the Golden Flashes. They're in control in the MAC East. So for Ross Tucker and our entire CBS crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. After the break, you'll be sent to PBR. Unleash the Beast World Finals. What a day. Good night from Buffalo.